Let's go, let's go. It's almost a Friday, but I'll make even this Thursday feel like it. Thank you immediately very much to Migmag Moog for the sub. Very much, Ronka, but don't feel bad. Boiling chicken is important. I don't know if that was an allegory. Welcome, chatters. Starting very soon. The plane shall lift off. Unless it doesn't, then we'll get some insurance money. Thank you very much to Singing Community OG Nipple Baby Pokemon for the resub 4 months in a row. That's how we fucking do it. And thank you, Ronka, for the 100 bits. Thank you very, very much, Dank McMuffin, for the sub. Welcome back, my beautiful child soldier. And yes, we all support. Salute, Toadletarians Union. Good job, good job, good job. Starting in 1 minute. Hang tight. Hello, 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 all my beautiful, beautiful motherfuckers. It is a Thursday, but I will do my best to make it feel like a good old Friday. How is my beautiful chat doing this fine, fine day? I have woken up with a bit of a hair problem, hence why I am wearing a hat. The OG state authorized media or whatever the fuck it says on my hat. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? I am doing very well. It is continuing to rain outside. It is Thursday, May 16th, exactly 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I will never tell you exact time that I am experiencing right now. Yesterday we had a brilliant stream, the longest one that has ever happened. And I really enjoyed myself. Let us have the same type. Yes, a bad hair day. Yes. Waking up on the wrong side of the bed? No. Bad hair day? Absolutely yes. I continuously confuse my American expressions. I just had a double espresso. I want to congratulate that chatter that said that his union succeeded in their goal. Very, 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 very good. I have a question for you. I don't have Anna Melol. I have a question for you. What is your opinion on Central Committee? I like Central Committee. Central Committee was the last guest that we had on the D program. So go check that interaction out if you want to know what I think of him. I think he's pretty brilliant, actually. Like, I really, really, really like the chap. How can you have a bad hair day? You barely have any. You're probably a long hair haver, and you underestimate just how fuzzy and messed up and weird short hair can be. This is called discrimination based on hair length, and it will not be appreciated here in chat. Now, like, I used to have much longer hair that I would like slick back completely to the back. Like, imagine, I don't know, fucking SS Youth haircut. That was my main haircut for like literally half a decade. And that needed, I don't know, at least 25 minutes of taking care of absolutely every morning. You get out of the shower, you towel dry it first, then you put in some wax, then you blow dry it in the direction you want it in. The wax keeps it where it needs to be, and then you use hairspray to keep it in for like 12 hours or whatever. Hair assists, exactly. You go the short hair nationalist. As we all know here in chat, we only stand tall people, and now we are adding another discriminatory definition, and that is based on hair length. If you're bald or have short hair, you're very much so appreciated here. The others will enjoy a bit of apartheid. Thank you very much, Romka, for the 100 bits. Blat, no solidarity with us balding motherfuckers. What the fuck? Yeah, they have no solidarity. I am also balding, and it is absolutely terrifying. What is the fit today? The fit is a very Balkanoid one, okay? We got the tracksuit, we got the jeans, we got the watch, we got only one bling, we got the hat, we got the fucking good merch. You gotta have the pro tip for all you fuckers that cut your hair. Your hair, if you want short hair, should never go over your ear. That is what tells you that you need a fucking haircut. Okay, we got the usual mask. I need to buy a new mask. This one is not very breathable, I might say. I will not breathe with this mask, meaning I cannot breathe in it. Not that I will have sex with the mask. Anyway, let us get into today's topics. I have quite a few stream suggestions given to me. We're going to talk opioids. We're going to talk TikTok ban. We're going to talk, and this I shouldn't say with like enthusiasm, Israeli apprehension of Palestinian prisoners of war. We're going to talk about migration. We're going to talk about branding and how branding changes basically our brain chemistry into believing that something has higher value versus lower value, and how that is extremely important through the use case of Gucci. We're going to talk about American automakers failing in China, and China slowly moving its industry of electronic vehicles into Europe and wider. We're going to talk about the CIA spy shit. We're going to talk about German pro-Israel sentiment, etc., etc., etc. Many things that we shall be covering today. But before we start, an ad is going to play right now. This fucking show will get interrupted all the time by ads. If you do not want to watch them and get some emotes, do consider becoming a sub. Anyways, Let's start with the darkest topic, arguably. I hope there's some mods in chat. Please adjust the title accordingly. First topic of today is Israeli whistleblower detail abuse of Palestinians in shadowy detention center. Of course, because it's Israel, we're going to call it detention center and not a fucking prison camp. But you do you, CNN. You do you.
It's a place the Israeli military.
And yes, I know the ICJ hearing is going right now, but I would much prefer to watch a highlight of it just because of the format of the stream. I don't think it would work really well for me to watch it live and then comment live, especially as someone who is not really a fucking lawyer or a law expert in general, right?
Doesn't want to.
Also, update, the Slovak prime minister didn't die. Because we were really talking about that yesterday, baby. Really talking about that.
To see.
How many Palestinians are in there right now?
Who are you? Give me please now. Hang on, what is it that you want? Hang on my card.
But CNN has gained exclusive evidence of Palestinian prisoner abuse from multiple Israeli whistleblowers. At the Sedi Taman facility in southern Israel, we joined human rights activists amid growing public concern for the detainees being held inside. This is a protest by Israeli citizens outside a
Yeah, but mods, I'll send you over on Discord. Don't keep the other parts of the name as well after you add the current topics. Keep the topics that we're going to be exploring later. Thank you.
detention center close to Gaza, where we know hundreds of Palestinians have been held. You can see it's a closed military facility. It's behind a barbed wire fence. We're not permitted access. And there's hostility from passers-by.
We just had somebody drive past in a car and they shouted out to us in Hebrew,
Yeah.
"You're defending murderers.
No.
You're defending, what do you,
No,
how do you
no,
answer that
we're
criticism?"
defending basic human rights.
And eyewitnesses are now speaking out. Away from the military facility, near the beaches of Tel Aviv, one young Israeli army reservist agreed to speak about scores of detainees at Sedi Taman. He says are kept in cages or pens, constantly shackled and blindfolded, many for weeks on end. We've hidden his identity and voice to shield him from prosecution.
We were told they are not allowed to move and must sit upright. They're not allowed to talk or peek under their blindfolds.
And what happened if they did do that? What kind of punishments were meted out?
We were allowed to pick out problematic people and punish them, having them stand with their hands above their heads for an unlimited time. If they didn't keep their hands up, we could zip tie them to the fence.
The Israeli military says detainees are handcuffed based on their risk level.
Classic US approved torture mechanisms. They stay away from actually poking the body in any way or breaking any ligaments or any bones, because that is what they kind of define as real torture. So everything that involves waterboarding, everything that involves very high-pitched sound, everything that involves restrainment of any type, anything that involves lack of access to the toilet, so basically shitting and pissing yourself, everything that involves psychological trauma and more importantly, humiliation, that's all basically allowed. All of that is basically allowed by their personal definition, local definition of what torture is. And every single U.S. ally that participates in, the global imperial conquest follows these rules pretty much to the core. Thank you very much, Red Phil, for the 4th month. Fucking another OG. Nepo baby Pokemon. Thank you.
And health status. But the
And sleep deprivation, of course, yes. Thank you, Crazy Fist. Exactly.
account tallies with photographic evidence obtained by CNN of Palestinian detainees inside Sedi Taman. And with hand and wrist injuries shown to CNN by dozens of Palestinians released back into Gaza. I was zip-tied and blindfolded, says this former detainee, and tortured in a way I never imagined. One source telling us the restraints were so tight they had to amputate a man's hand.
The view that I've heard expressed is that how do you think?
And this, in general, just extends the conversation about prisoners. That's what the U.S., the Imperial Corps, always does. They present themselves as the ethical side, and every single physical, mental, and psychological attack against those that they seem as enemies is de facto acceptable because it is done by the acceptable good side. We have all kind of pushed ourselves into this identification of core imperial ideology as our definition of normal behavior during both times of peace and times of conflict. So when you have this sort of paradigm, right, it's no longer, it's not Palestinian hostages, it's Palestinian prisoners. It's not fucking slave camps and torture camps. It's just, classic prisons, etc., etc. Well, anything that the other side does is defined through terminology which is de facto uncivilized and de facto terrorist in nature, right? And that is why for the last fucking 5 months, all Palestinian prisoners, Palestinian hostages in Israel were referred to as prisoners, as criminals, etc., etc., while those held by Hamas were always defined simply as civilian hostages. This is like a paradigm that kind of has existed since U.S. hegemony became a thing, because they redefined basically us doing the same thing and you doing the same thing as completely different things. And we've pretty much embraced it completely.
Israeli hostages are treated
subconsciously.
This sentiment was voiced in the facility, but I think that if Hamas is so abominable, which I agree with, then why use Hamas as a bar? It's a descent into dehumanization.
A descent that's accelerated since the rampage by Hamas on October the 7th last year. The killing and abduction to Gaza of hundreds of Israelis provoked outrage and a brutal response. Amid Israel's wrath, tens of thousands of Palestinians have been killed and thousands detained for interrogation, transported to facilities.
Yeah, but CNN doesn't mention that thousands had been detained before the October 7th attacks. Literally over 10,000 people, including women and children, but okay.
It is like Seder Taman, where one Israeli guard now tells CNN prisoners are routinely beaten. We've hidden his identity and voice too.
You can take them out and hit them maybe 4 or 5 times with a club. It's not done in the face, so you don't see blood. The detainees lie belly down, being hit and kicked, people screaming and dogs barking at them. It's terrifying. Some detainees are taken away and beaten really hard, so bones and teeth are broken.
So you saw people who were subject to these beatings, who had their bones broken and who had their teeth broken?
Yes, it's a practice which commanders know about. They want intelligence, but they also want revenge and punishment for what happened on October 7th.
The Israeli military hasn't approved CNN's requests for access to Sedi Taman. But at the gates of the facility,
As one does when one has absolutely nothing to hide, of course.
we challenged the Israeli guards.
How many Palestinians are in there right now? We don't know
Brackton, it's honestly really lazy as well once you spot the patterns, lol. Whether it's the IRA or anti-apartheid, we've always painted our political rivals as brutes or barbarians or orcs. Terrorist is just a label we've largely applied to specific Islamic movements. Yes, and expanded it to many others at this point.
Do you know if they're being handcuffed? Are they being blindfolded?
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
Thank you very much, Carrion Liberal. Welcome, Carrion Liberal, for the sub, my beautiful child soldier. Welcome to the
As
community.
we leave, masked soldiers approach.
Hello, how are you?
Wonderful, a new child soldier. Subscriber.
And thank you very much, Roso Queer, for the 3-month sub. Very much appreciated.
The army.
Oh.
So you
Who are you guys from CNN?
Give me please.
They tried to take our cameras.
Give me please now. Give me please now. Hang on, what is it that you want? My camera or my card?
Then order us to leave. Well, we're driving now to meet one Israeli with personal experience of the Sadeh Tayman facility. It's experience that he says has left him shocked at the condition and the medical treatment of Palestinian detainees there. He told us he treated Palestinian detainees with gunshot wounds fresh from the war zone in Gaza, but was appalled at the lack of equipment and expertise.
The problem is, Gazans who are brought in are labeled as terrorists, and it is very popular opinion over here that terrorists deserve to die, so they do not deserve the same medical care as everyone else.
I mean, this is the ultimate classic, complete dehumanization, identification of the entirety of a population as inherently violent, inherently hateful, and incredibly, in this case, probably anti-Semitic, etc., etc. That's the first step. Once that is accepted by the wider population, which doesn't have to always be, but in Israel it very much so is, but most importantly by the military and the police force, the ones who actually have the direct right to act violently towards detainees or a whole ethnicity, you no longer feel bad about harming them or hurting them. It has a very strange effect on the human psyche where it removes that person as a human from, it removes the human attribute from your perception of them. And that has allowed many, many brutal regimes to not only use their military and their police force to completely crack down and annihilate and mass murder whole populations through acts of genocide, just like this one, but it has also allowed the population to support that violence and sometimes even very directly participate in it. Angry mobs running down, fucking throwing people out of windows, etc., etc. We've seen this historically, and this is the numero uno proven method of basically turning normal, sometimes even quote-unquote good people into complete rabid animals, because they don't feel like, nobody wants to think they're the bad guy. These guys have just been quite literally ideologized into considering the Palestinian as a non-human subject, and therefore any act of violence, discrimination, hatred, and even murder towards them is more akin to killing an insect than it is a human. And again, this is not something Israelis invented. We know this since the dawn of time. It's the first thing you push into your population's brain before you want to commit mass-scale extermination of a group that you do not consider equal to yours or a problem.
Satellite imagery obtained by CNN shows how the Sedi Taman facility was expanded after the October 7th attacks, with detention facilities and makeshift medical bays being added after public hospitals in Israel.
Crazy fist. I work at a Muslim school, and pretty much all my students are the children of refugees, some from Palestine, some from elsewhere. The problem that I have is that the hegemonic brainwashing is so powerful that even 12-year-olds who have fled genocide will regurgitate mainstream media talking points that are used against them. What would you recommend as a rapid deprogramming for them? Questioning. Basic questioning of hegemonic brainwashing. Why do you think your people are the bad guy? Why do you think they did this or that? Why do you think people who happen to be your ethnicity are committing this or that type of act? What came before? Going for the root cause, right? But then again, you don't really need to do it, honestly, because they will
Wonderful.
quite
A new
literally
child
just
soldier.
simply grow out of it, right? They will grow out of it. We're talking about 12-year-olds, right? Everybody's like 100% brainwashed when they're 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. Afterwards, that will eventually go out of them where they're identifying, when quite literally everybody around them continues to only see a particular member of a particular ethnicity that will ironically push them towards exploring their ethnicity, their original ethnicity, their original like reason for being refugees, etc., etc. And once they do that, they will start questioning the overarching identity of, in this case, I guess, being British or being American. I don't know where you're from, and that sort of clash of identities will either lead them down the path of completely rejecting their background and becoming a full American or full Brit, basically whitewashing themselves, or it will lead them to some sort of at least class consciousness or like anti-imperial consciousness in this case, and they will stop basically participating in self-hatred. Thank you very much, Stevie86, for the second month resub. Thank you, beautiful.
Refused to treat injured Gazan suspects. Eyewitness accounts describe a field hospital with 15 to 20 patients, virtually naked and blindfolded, with hands and feet shackled
Jesus
to
Christ,
their
yeah,
beds
this, yeah,
and wearing
yeah.
diapers. One eyewitness told CNN painful procedures were carried out by underqualified medics. Treatment the medical worker told us amounts to punishment.
In my view,
These are like if you let them leave these institutions, they're basically factories for future enemies. And this is either done because you're fucking stupid and you just want like momentary revenge, but you're creating extremely radicalized individuals. And for good fucking measure, if somebody did this to me, I would hate them from the bottom of my heart for the rest of my life. Like maybe forgive but never fucking forget, right? Or this is intentional, like Israel's tactics of quick and direct brutalization of a population both work on the surface of what they say, hey, we just want to dissuade them from doing shit by terrifying them, but more importantly, it creates people who are, in my opinion, justifiably violent against the apartheid regime so that they can point at them and say, this is who we are dealing with, while ignoring that they have quite literally set the circumstances by being a colonial apartheid fucked up regime for those people to want to commit acts of violence against them, right? So it's either just direct revenge on the spot, emotions, blah, 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 and being vapid racists, or it is kind of a unspoken factory of future so-called radicals that they can point at and say, hey, we didn't do nothing, didn't do nothing, and yet they hate us so much and they chuck grenades over the wall of the prison we put them in.
it's the idea of total vulnerability. If you imagine being unable to move, being unable to...
Yeah, Breck 10, fucking classic. Conservatives, if my country were invaded, I'd put my life on the line to fight for its freedom. Palestinians, we've been invaded and are putting our lives on the line to fight for its freedom. Conservatives, terrorists. Exactly, on the fucking nose.
To see what's going on, that's something that borders, if not crosses, into psychological torture.
The Israeli military says prisoners
kidding?
are stripped for security checks and that investigations are opened when there's suspicion of misconduct. Still, accounts from Israelis and Palestinians inside and the shocking images paint a disturbing picture. Matthew Chance, CNN, at Sedi Taman.
And then you have these fucking dudes. You have people that call themselves anti-fascists in fucking Germany being pro-Israel, flying the fucking anti-capitalista flag right next to that of an apartheid, racist, fascist, Zionist regime. Let's see Red's coverage of this.
Imagine calling yourself an anti-fascist while being a passionate supporter of Israeli fascism. Ridiculous, right? Well, let us introduce you to a special kind of German anti-fascism that can considers Israel to be today's beacon of anti-fascism. What doesn't make much sense elsewhere is actually a real thing in Germany, and they're called Anti-Deutsche or Anti-Germans. The Anti-Deutsche's striking characteristic is their unconditional support for the State of Israel, adhering to the German government's definition of anti-Semitism, which labels any and all critique of Israel as anti-Semitic. The movement takes some of the most questionable leftists.
My man's be calling that's just treason, my brother. I know, like, being patriotic about Germany has always led us down some dark fucking paths, but motherfuckers be calling themselves anti-German and then being also hardcore supporters of a foreign state. That is treason. That is just treason.
Stances completely in line with German and US foreign policy in an attempt to deal with Germany's Holocaust guilt. From supporting Israel's wars of aggression to supporting the US invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq, the Anti-Deutsche established a pseudo-leftist pro-Israeli, pro-US, Islamophobic,
Red Phil, our Anti-Deutsche student council member, vacated his seat since yesterday. Sadly not due to blowback, just simply he did. Yeah, fuck that guy, I guess.
Pro-war ideology. As their name implies, the Anti-Deutsche see themselves as primarily opposed to German nationalism. The movement, originating from Marxist intellectual circles, started to take off in the late 80s and early 90s when the German East-West divide came to an end. Fearing the rise of a Fourth Reich, the Anti-Deutsche aimed for a complete departure from Germanness, their slogan being Never Again Germany. Apart from the lack of a rational theory, the fallacy of their anti-nationalism also meant a departure from real anti-capitalism and anti-imperialism. These pseudo-Marxists were exactly what the West needed to undermine the growing anti-imperialist communist movement.
This is like liberal core, bro. This is liberal core. So we're not against a state becoming racist and fascist and imperialist. We're just specifically against the Germans being racist, fascist, and imperialist. But another state, that's absolutely okay. They do not, again, to hammer this into your fucking foreheads, liberals do not have the ability, just ideologically, because it's an absolute contradiction to their worldview, to identify systems, to identify modes of organization, types of organizations. They only look at a liberal cannot see American capitalism. A liberal can only see the Democratic Party and the Republicans. And in this case, a liberal cannot see a fascist state as being problematic. It can only see a German Reich as being problematic. Get it? They're just stupid. Stupid. That's it.
At home, back in the 50s, the CIA had already dedicated millions of dollars to covert operations, bringing together some of the most eminent Western thinkers and intellectuals in a bid to challenge Europe's communist movement from within. Today, the Anti-Deutsche enjoy full support from the German government, with some of their most prominent mouthpieces being primarily state-funded. But the Anti-Deutsche financiers don't just include the German government, but also US think tanks such as the New York-based Ford Foundation. While the Anti-Deutsche definitely saw a drop in popularity in recent decades, their funding has grown. Today, the Anti-Deutsche still hold enormous influence among German leftist circles, with several prominent organizations, foundations, and newspapers. They hold high-ranking positions in academic and leftist circles, from universities all the way down to local community organizations, and relentlessly attack leftist groups, defaming them as anti-Semitic, undermining and weakening the German left. While solidarity with Palestine is growing worldwide, pseudo-leftist anti-fascists in Germany are busy doing the government's dirty work, echoing Zionist propaganda, while claiming to stand for leftist ideals and a free world.
The internet is currently...
Fucking, yeah, nothing to add to Red's great fucking article on this. Complete liberal misinterpretation of systems and a hyperfixation on identity as a method which they stand against. That's it. That's literally it. Okay. Yeah, I gotta love it. Moving from Germany, just doing news updates right now. Moving from Germany over to what France is doing in its colonies.
After another night of unrest in the New Caledonian capital, Nouméa, Residents cleaned up while some fires continued to burn. The damage came during violent protests by a pro-independence group fighting against a move by the French government it believes is designed to marginalise its voice and that of the indigenous Kanak community.
We hope that the state listens to us, that they realise that we do not agree with this. We do not agree with that law.
Why should we give other people the chance to decide for us? We've been in a colonial situation for several years now.
On Tuesday, the French Parliament adopted a constitutional reform bill that would allow all French residents who've lived in New Caledonia for 10 years to vote in local elections. France's Interior Minister said the bill was aimed at expanding democracy.
To respect the parliamentary vote, we need to understand what we're doing here. This is so that somebody who's born in New Caledonia to Caledonian parents can vote in local elections. It's not revolutionary.
But members of the Kanak community disagree. They say the reform would dilute their vote and their push for independence. Some left-wing politicians say the bill should be scrapped.
There are two communities in New Caledonia. For them to have a common destiny, you can't ignore the indigenous community, the Kanaks. The decision to pass this bill in the National Assembly is something Mr. Darmanin dares to call a compromise. But the only compromise that's been made here is one between him and the Loyalists. The Kanaks did not want it.
The French government says it wants to solve the crisis through face-to-face talks.
J'invite les responsables politiques calédoniens.
I am inviting New Caledonia's political leaders to take France's outstretched hand and come to Paris for discussions in the coming weeks. The important thing is appeasement. The important thing is dialogue.
3 referendums have been held in New Caledonia since 2018. All of them chose to remain a French territory, but the independence movement boycotted the last one in 2021.
Thank you very much, legendary Yana Gibashi, for the 5 gifted subs. Ain't nobody watching ads up in this motherfucker. 5 child soldiers for the great Ugopnik nation of Jisrael. Gooners shall have a homeland, and we shall ensure it for them through the financial support of great people like Yana Gibashi. Thank you very, very, very much for the 5 gifted subs. Everybody who got a sub from Yana, say thank you.
French President Emmanuel Macron has declared a state of emergency in New Caledonia and called for calm. But his government's planned reform has exacerbated a sense among some Kanaks that Paris regards them as second-class citizens and that their opinions simply don't count. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera, Paris.
Absolute classic. Absolute and eternal classic. Okay, so now let's do a proper coverage of news. I was just waiting for it to come out, and it just came out. We're moving over to Democracy Now! And my favorite lady in the world, Amy. Amy, what do you have to say about what is happening today? Let me guess. More American support for war. Some black guy got killed by cops. And poor people will continue being poor, but please vote for me. Let me guess, that's going to be it. But let's watch it anyways. Daily news update with yours truly, Ugopnik, now wearing a hat and a mask and a tracksuit. It looks like I'm going to a football match, not commenting on the news. But then again, what is the difference?
News is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. The International Rescue Committee is warning the scale of the crisis in southern Gaza defies imagination as Israel intensifies its attack on Rafah while key border crossings remain shut down. More than 600,000 Palestinians have fled Rafah despite having no safe place to go. Another 100,000 have fled to the north. Overnight, Israel deployed an additional commando brigade to Rafah. This is a Palestinian woman in Rafah who...
Thank you very much for the 100 bits. Missed you too, Prime Minister Kit Litso. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What do you mean missing me? I streamed for like 7 hours yesterday. But yes, Israel is continuing everything. Even after 2 months ago, the Security Council said the ceasefire needs to happen after a proposed settlement both by Hamas and the U.S. sanctioned negotiation peace talks in Qatar. After Joe Biden himself said that if they continue to flatten Rafah, he's going to cut sending more weapons, etc., etc. Israel is an insane fucking imperial extension and borderline rogue state at this point. Arguing against this makes you an absolute fucking cretin, and you should go get your fucking head checked.
After Israel killed her husband and her son.
My son was beautiful as a moon. He was a groom. He went inside to his bride. Thank God. There's no safe place, not in Rafah, not in Khan Yunis. They slaughtered Jabalia, they slaughtered Al-Nusayrat, and they slaughtered Rafah. Safety is only with God. May God have mercy on us.
On Wednesday, Israel shelled a clinic in Gaza City run by the UN aid agency UNRWA, killing at least 10 displaced Palestinians, including children. Earlier today, Israeli forces targeted residential buildings and an ambulance in Jabalia, killing many Palestinians, including a pregnant woman.
Apparently, Jesus fucking Christ, fucking animals. Apparently, they're also offing themselves as well.
And the Israeli army says 5
Israeli tank fire kills 5 IDF soldiers in northern Gaza,
were killed
which is supposed to be a territory that they've completely taken at this point, right?
when they were mistakenly fired on by one of its tanks in northern Gaza. 2 shells were fired.
When you're so fucking bloodthirsty, you shoot at anything that has 2 arms, 2 legs, and a hat. Sometimes that will lead to you shooting your own fucking guys. The surprise in me is unmistakable.
That paratroopers in Jabalia. These images show the aftermath of an Israeli strike in Jabalia. Israeli ground forces re-entered the area earlier this month. With more, here's our correspondent Dan Johnson in Jerusalem.
We know that 5 soldiers from the IDF lost their lives yesterday in the north of Gaza.
Lost their lives. Lost their lives. Listen to the specific terminology.
This is in Jabalia, an area...
Whenever an IDF guy kills anybody, even another IDF guy, it's losing lives. Ain't nobody getting killed here, sir. Ain't nobody getting killed. What is this footage? No, sir. Please calm down. Ain't nobody getting killed here, okay?
The Israeli military has had to return to, having previously declared it cleared of Hamas fighters earlier in this conflict. Around January, they completed military operations in that area, but have had to go back there in the last few days. And that's raised a question over the sustainability of Israel's military strategy here, whether they are actually able to sustainably clear out Hamas for good. And that is something that is now playing out at the top of Israeli government. We have the defense minister, Yoav Gallant, challenging the prime minister to set out a clear plan for how Gaza will be governed once the military operation is over. And if I show you the front pages of some of the Israeli press this morning, you've got Yoav Gallant and Prime Minister Netanyahu there. The headline says, "This is no way to run a war." And on this paper, you've got a headline saying that a military government in Gaza would mean only blood and sacrifices without purpose. You've got the Jerusalem Post there saying Gallant slams Netanyahu indecisiveness on Gaza. And the defense minister said he'd been asking for these assurances repeatedly since October, but the prime minister had not been able to lay out any clear plan of how the Palestinian people in Gaza would be governed after the military operation concludes. There are questions about who will represent them, how will they rebuild their infrastructure, what will the role of the Israelis, other nations and international organizations be. Prime Minister Netanyahu's response to that challenge yesterday was just to say that his priority right now is to eradicate Hamas and that he would not consider any sort of deal.
I hope you're reading through the lines. They are saying, look at what happened to 5 of our soldiers. We need to really intensively re-examine how we're going to govern this territory. Some obviously relatively progressive, if you can call that, in Israel voices are saying, oh, maybe like a military governance there is a bad idea because Israelis will die en masse because the Palestinian people will continue to revolt, etc., etc., etc. But the other voice, which will most definitely win, is what the Israelis have always been doing, and that's saying, in order to protect Israeli lives, we need to crack down harder and harder and harder. Look at what happened because we didn't properly control the north of the Strip. 5 of our soldiers died. That's why control needs to be stronger, harder, hits, and fucking executes. Okay, they will use this to push even more radical apartheid to the local population, whatever's fucking left of it at that point. And it's interesting that even BBC is now bringing up the conversation about how the Palestinians will be governed in the future, manufacturing consent and normalizing the idea of Israel being the one who gets to define how Gaza is going to be run. Continuing the basic argument that this is not really an act of them going in and quote unquote killing the militants that they dislike so much, but a war of conquest and genocide. They want that territory and they will take this territory. And they might call it some fancy words like temporary authority or blah, blah, blah. That's not the point. The point is to completely ethnically cleanse the place so that they can colonize it the way they've always fucking functioned as a colony.
Separately, 5 Israeli soldiers were killed Wednesday in Jabalia when they were shelled by an Israeli tank. 7 other Israeli troops were injured in what's being described as a friendly fire incident. This all comes as the University Network for Human Rights has concluded in a major report Israel's committing genocidal acts in Gaza. The report was written in partnership with law school human rights clinics at Boston University, Cornell, Yale, and the University of Pretoria in South Africa. In The Hague, the International Court of Justice is hearing arguments today from South Africa in its genocide case against Israel. South Africa is requesting emergency measures over Israel's escalating attack on Rafah. Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant, has publicly challenged Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over Israel's future plans for Gaza. Gallant said he opposes Israeli military or civilian rule over the Gaza Strip.
We must dismantle Hamas' governing capabilities in Gaza. The key to this goal is military action and the establishment of a governing alternative in Gaza. In the absence of such an alternative, only 2 negative options remain: Hamas rule in Gaza or Israeli military rule in Gaza.
Gallant's comments came a day after another member of Netanyahu's government.
There you go. We're already talking about it. What happens next? And obviously, when you praise the point towards both the United States and your domestic Israeli colonial population, Israeli rule is the only acceptable option.
National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir took part in a march calling for Israel to resettle Gaza and expel Palestinians living there.
There we go. And they said it. And they said it. I mean, they've been screaming it. They've been fucking selling Gaza real estate in fucking Philadelphia real estate agencies. Now, official state representatives of Israel are saying that it needs to be settled by Israel itself. Is this surprising to anybody? No. Are you fucking dumb? Are you fucking bitch? Are you dumb? Are you fuck? What was that song? But yeah, only a matter of time. You know what else is only a matter of time, though? Ads in exactly 1 minute and 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. They shall bomb your feed by telling you to join the U.S. Army, to consume McDonald's, or to buy the new Gucci bag. Do not give yourself into that sort of propaganda, and instead support my propaganda for $5 a month for free through Prime and have an adless experience. Look at Belgwin subbing through Prime. Welcome, a beautiful child soldier. And Lazy K with the 10 gifted subs. Lazy K always walks into chat, takes their massive fucking dong out, and pisses all over everybody. And thank you, Kit Litzo, as well, for the gifted sub. That is what I like to see. Nobody's watching motherfucking ads up in this motherfucker ever, ever, ever. New emotes, I put the max emotes in the fucking thing. You can use 70 TV or the other one. Thank you very much, Kit Litzo, and especially thank you, Lazy K. Welcome, my beautifuls. Everybody who got a gifted sub, please thank your my capos. Basically, gifters are like my capos, right? If it's a mafia structure. But okay, let's continue with the news.
Another member of the Biden administration has resigned to protest the president's policies on Gaza.
Not in my Israel.
Lily Greenberg Kahl has become the first known Jewish political appointee to resign over the war. She had been working as special assistant to the chief of staff at the Interior Department. In a resignation letter, she wrote, quote, "I can no longer in good conscience continue to represent this administration amidst President Biden's disastrous continued support for Israel's genocide in Gaza." She went
Good for you, Lily. Good for you. God bless you. Fucking history will look at you kindly. Bravo.
On to write, quote, "Biden is making Jews the face of the American war machine, and that is so deeply wrong."
Bravo, Lily. Man, everybody said love to Lily. Fuck yeah, Lily. Ay.
Greenberg Kahl's views on Israel have shifted over the years. In 2019, as a college student at the University of California, Berkeley, she served as president of Bears for Israel, which is affiliated with AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee.
See, when this lady that even worked for things that are affiliated with AIPAC itself, when she can understand that this argument that Israel is somehow protecting Jews by mass murdering Palestinians, when she can understand that argument is, I can't use the word fallacy, when they understand that argument is absolutely fucking insane, like insane, then absolutely everybody can, okay? Absolutely everybody can.
The acclaimed historian Ilan Pappé has revealed he was interrogated for 2 hours by federal agents at an airport in Detroit after flying into the United States. The agents questioned him about his Arab and Muslim friends in the interrogated for. The acclaimed historian Ilan Pappé has revealed he was interrogated for 2 hours by federal agents at an airport in Detroit after flying into the United States. The agents questioned him about his Arab and Muslim friends in the United States, as well as his views on Hamas, and if he thought Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Professor Pappé said he was allowed to enter the U.S., but only after agents copied the contents of his phone. Meanwhile, in Europe...
What the fuck? Your opinion on what Hamas is doing are relevant to you being allowed into a completely different so-called sovereign state? Well, now I'm shooting bricks because I'm supposed to go to the U.S. in like a couple of months for like a family thing. Holy shit! Oh, I can't wait to live stream as I get a fucking bag put over my head and be flown back through like 7 camps. At least I'll go hang out with some Mexican friends. Jesus Christ.
Europe. Germany's lifted a travel ban on the renowned British...
Why do you wear a mask, you gobnik? Why do you wear a mask? I fucking wonder.
Palestinian surgeon Hassan Abu Sita, which had prevented him from traveling around Europe to talk about what he witnessed in Gaza.
I'm gonna meet up with JT and Hakeem in a different event. No, that's for like family stuff. Yeah, my girlfriend's family stuff.
In April, Germany initially...
I really don't want to go, trust me.
Barred Abu Sita from attending a Palestinian Congress in Berlin that authorities later shut down. Student-led protests across the United States are continuing. Graduating students have highlighted the plight of students in Gaza as they deliver end-of-year speeches, while many have waved Palestinian flags and displayed messages of solidarity as they take to the stage to receive their diplomas. At Barnard College here in New York, students wore red poppies on their gowns, each with the name of a slain Palestinian child, and refused to shake the hand of President Laura Rosenberry. Meanwhile, prominent Israeli journalist Amira Haas addressed Columbia Journalism School graduates Wednesday.
The kids are okay. The kids are going to be okay.
The journalism that I chose to practice is based on the refusal to see injustice as normal, the refusal to normalize it to a point that we do not see it. This is exactly what the students here in Colombia and in so many other campuses in the US and now in Europe have been doing. Refuse to accept hell as normal.
New school students on Wednesday took over their university's Welcome Center, renaming it the Lema Center in honor of Lema Jamous, a 9-year-old famous in Gaza for her journalistic reports. In California, the president of Sonoma State University, Mike Lee, has been placed on leave after he announced...
As I've said many, many times, I hate American kids because they're doing something I never thought I would do. And that is like some Americans. God fucking damn. It's a great pain. I can't help it. I like them. And they're American. They're American and I like them. It's... half of my identity is disliking American culture, but God bless. Thank you very much, Brackton, for the sub. Welcome, my beauty. Welcome. Thank you very much.
Announced the school had agreed to an academic boycott of Israel following talks with student protesters. The chancellor of California State University has accused Lee of insubordination.
Feels dirty, doesn't it? We're trying, okay, little no man. I love Americans, like no joke. Like American, half of my fucking favorite people per period ever born happen to be Yanks. Okay, nothing to do with the everyday fucking burger eater. Okay, I will make fun of you for having no cafes and no restaurants and just like living in fast food chains, and that your culture is quite literally just fucking consumer brands. I will make fun of that, but I like Americans. I like Americans as much as you can like any nation whose national dish is a fucking burger. But yeah.
In Southern California, police raided an encampment at University of California, Irvine, arresting at least a dozen demonstrators. This comes as UC student workers voted Wednesday to authorize a strike in response to the use of force in dismantling the UCLA encampment earlier this month in violation of their labor rights. Meanwhile, the Harvard Graduate Students Union filed a federal complaint against Harvard for surveillance and retaliation against their protest. And a judge in Rhode Island has rejected trespassing charges against 41 Brown University protesters. The judge said, quote, "I think this is a reflection of what nonviolent and peaceful resistance, frankly, is supposed to look like." The Prime Minister of Slovakia...
The kids will be all right. The kids will be all right. The kids will be all right.
Has survived an assassination attempt. Robert Fico is reportedly in stable but serious condition after being shot 5 times Wednesday.
Fico, his political opinions are everything. The classic Central European leader, right? Like professional politician, basically.
A 71-year-old suspect has been detained in what authorities are describing as a lone wolf attack. Fico is a populist leader who's an ally of Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban and Russian President Putin. Slovakia's President Zuzana Kaputova said the shooting was an attack on democracy.
A physical attack on the Prime Minister is primarily an attack on a person, but it is also an attack on democracy. Any violence is unacceptable. The hateful rhetoric we witness in society leads to hateful acts. Please, let's stop it.
The Netherlands is set to see its most far-right government in decades after the populist leader Geert Wilders announced his anti-immigrant Party for Freedom is forming a coalition with 3 other parties.
Stevie, how do you pronounce her last name? Whose last name?
6 months after the victory in parliamentary elections. But the Islamophobic Geert Wilders will not become the new prime minister after agreeing to forfeit the leadership position as part of negotiations. He's still expected to wield significant power over Dutch politics.
Guy literally didn't expect to win so much fucking power. He was like, man, I'm basically a Nazi, but I didn't expect my whole population to be as fucking Nazi. I don't want that fucking job. Jesus fucking Christ. I was just trying to do my little fucking right-wing shill and get some fucking, some fucking Koch brother money. What the fuck is this? Now I have to run a country? Jesus fucking Christ, man. This is why no fucking YouTuber will ever be a fucking president. no right-wing YouTuber will ever be a fucking president. Imagine Ben Shapiro being given the position. Neil, like, I have to sign things and go to meetings, but I just want to talk to the population and scream fucking bigoted things. What the fuck?
A crackdown on asylum seekers is widely expected. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping are meeting in Beijing as Russia wages a new offensive in northeast Ukraine. Last week, China put out a 12-point peace plan to end the war in Ukraine. Earlier today, Xi said China, quote, hopes for the early return of Europe to peace and stability, unquote. Xi and Putin also signed a...
Well, why the fuck is why the fuck is the official logo of this gathering a little panda that has the Chinese flag and a little bear that has the Russian flag? What is this low-key wholesome? Why? Like, look at the seriousness of the situation. Hey, we're just talking about war, war on the European continent, and then panda and little bear hugging and anime has gone too far, okay? The Chinese have forgotten Nanking.
joint statement to deepen their partnership on trade as well.
Because America showed the world the importance of lived up branding. Yeah, I guess.
As on nuclear and energy cooperation. France has declared a state of emergency and is deploying its forces to New Caledonia amidst mounting unrest in the Pacific archipelago. At least 4 people were killed in clashes this week. Tensions have been rising as indigenous Kanak communities protest plans to allow French residents who've lived in New Caledonia for 10 years to vote in provincial elections.
Yeah, I wonder why that fucking rule was passed, right? Oh, Jesus. I mean, I would always obviously support people being able to be given citizenship in a normal context. This is a colonial context, okay? Maybe France should first leave the fucking state, and then we can talk about, French people that have lived there for a very long time being given full citizenry. But while it's, that doesn't happen, obviously it's going to be seen by the indigenous population locally as them just trying to remove voting rights from them. Thank you very much, Rose Publica, for the resub. Welcome back, beautiful. For 4 months. Thank you very much, Rose Publica.
We feel oppressed. We are angry. Everything is taking place over there in France. And us, we are wondering, are we being heard, the Kanak people?
Some 40% of the population of New Caledonia is Kanak, but the island remains under French rule since its colonization by France in the 19th century. Many young people seek full independence from France. In Argentina, LGBTQ and women seek French rule since its population of New Caledonia is Kanak, but the
over there in France. And us, we are wondering, are we being heard, the Kanak people?
Some 40% of the population of New Caledonia is Kanak, but the island remains under French rule since its colonization by France in the 19th century. Many young people seek full independence from France. In Argentina, LGBT...
Jesus, it's even sorry, I'm very uninformed on the Kanak situation. So it's still a fucking territory. It's an official old school fucking colony. Jesus Christ.
TQ and
France just doing French things.
Women's rights active... are accusing the government of far-right populist Javier Milei of fomenting violence and hate after a man set fire to 4 lesbians, killing 3 and seriously injuring the 4th.
Christ.
In one of his first acts as president, Milei shut down the government office that deals with hate crimes and banned the use of gender-inclusive language in the military. Human Rights Watch.
Jesus fucking Christ. What did lesbians ever do to anybody? What the fuck, man? What the fuck? No, Argentina is first 4th world country, man. First 4th world country. I feel bad for them, especially for a Greek-Australian Osama Maxer from Argentina. You know who I'm talking about.
Just hailing a monumental victory after a Swiss court convicted former Gambian Interior Minister Ousmane Sonko for crimes against humanity committed under the dictatorship of Yahya Jammeh. Sanko was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his role in torture, illegal detentions, and unlawful killings between 2000 and 2016. He's the second ex-Gambian official convicted in Europe for international crimes committed in Gambia after a former death squad member received a life sentence in Germany last year. In U.S.
It's always a
election
classic.
news,
They
the
always
Supreme Court
have a book. They have a staff and they have a hat. All genocidal psychopaths, right?
is restored for now.
Argentina numero 4 Argentina.
A Louisiana congressional voting map that includes 2 black majority districts. The ruling upholds a map drawn in January, which introduced the second black district, and it overrules the federal court.
Do you think the French still have an empire? I think the Portuguese have long realized that our empire is gone. We have no real influence. In culture, no, not really. But when it comes to governance, then absolutely. The more problematic character when it comes to the conversation of empire is the UK. Because, mate, we lost the fucking empire, mate. So our solution is to also, leave the EU, mate. Yeah, brother. They are suffering from, innate cucked self-pity over the fact that they're no longer the big bad empire. They miss the good old days so fucking hard, and it's a part of the culture. It's not just in political and capital elites.
Ruling that blocked that map in late April. Wednesday's Supreme Court decision comes as a major win for Democrats who are hoping to retake control of the House in November. And President Biden and Donald Trump have agreed to 2 presidential debates. The first debate will be hosted by CNN on June 27th without a live audience. The second debate is scheduled for September 10th, hosted by ABC.
We don't want your fucking debate. We just want you to stop fucking killing children and, enjoy the start of American balkanization in peace, okay? Hitler 1 and Hitler B, please just do your fucking thing behind the curtains and let us just wallow in our own self-pity. Can we do this? Don't make it into a fucking spectacle where we're all like, this guy owned the other guy. How does the fucking unhinged corporate fascist fuck up a old imperial fascist? This is what are they going to argue about? What are they going to argue about? Abortion. What else do they disagree on? Trans rights. I don't think Joe Biden's going to bring up trans rights. Let's be fucking honest. Yeah, that's a great idea, Brackton. If RFK moderates this shit, I'm watching it, okay? RFK moderates that shit. And sometimes I keep forgetting that my real class solidarity is not with the proletariat, even though I pretend to be a communist on here. It's with the content creator class, okay? This is a super class, understand? So yes, the debate is going to be good because it will milk it for so much fucking content, okay? I wish I could play that fucking character because I don't do that type of content on this show, but many other brothers of my great content creator class will definitely milk the shit out of it.
ABC News. The campaigns opted to arrange the debates directly with the networks instead of the Commission on Presidential Debates, which has set up every presidential debate since 1988. If the debate...
What do they put in their background? Is that the fucking Constitution? What's that shit in the background? Is that the Constitution? That's so edgy. That's so edgy.
Let's go ahead as planned. June's event would be the earliest...
Hamas charter. No, that's the... behind them, that's the Israeli Constitution. If somebody who works for, the stage show of the debate... If they want to troll them really hard, do Photoshop of the Israeli Constitution, all of it, and place the JPEG right there where the American Constitution should sit. That would be that would be art. That would be art. You know what isn't art, though? Advertising, which is going to play in exactly 1 minute and 20 seconds. It might not pitch to you the Israeli Constitution, but it will pitch the Consumer Constitution. Instead of consuming that, I call you upon consuming my content for $5 a month or for free through Prime, and in return, you do not have to watch those ads. Replace one type of consumption with another. Literally nothing will change. Maybe I'll pay my mortgage off quicker, but that is it. Thank you for considering this non-choice. Let's continue.
Ever presidential debate and come before either candidate is officially nominated at their party's conventions. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Nermeen Sheikh. Welcome to our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
Thank you very much, Democracy Now!, as always. Fucking based in democracy pill, am I right? Am I right? Very based in democracy pill. Okay, we covered the news, we learned the news, everything sucks and everything continues to suck. Now, let's talk about migration from the brilliant Friendly Jordies over in Australia, mate. Over in Australia, Friendly Jordies, we're talking about the migraines. The motherfucking migraines. This man is a close friend of Boy, who I actually interviewed today, this morning. I interviewed Alexa, not Alexa, you fucking Yanks. Alexa. Okay, look at mouth. Look at mouth. Alexa. Look at mouth. Alexa. Because Alexa, not Alexa, from Boy, is a Serbian boy. So it's Alexa. Alexa. Okay, thank you. This is their friend that got their house burned down because they were against Australia. Okay? So, not against Australia in general, but because they were, talking about some dangerous people in the Australian outback, if you know what I mean. In the Australian tops. Yes, indeed. So, I saw him make a video called The Migration Dilemma, and how the fuck do I not click? I click indeed and immediately.
You guys seen the latest episode of Howard Stern? I know. He's a renegade host who's made his name off of his brash, candid, and provocative interview style. Let's just say he's anything but politically correct. I mean, he hosts interviews...
Isn't this the fucking guy that would call, people with, severe, mental disabilities and just make, just shit on them? This guy. I forgot this guy existed. This fucking schmuck. Or sex workers and then just derailed them completely. And they say podcasters suck dick. This is what radio is, my brother. This is what fucking radio is. God.
Howard Stern. I know. He's a renegade.
I thought he had died. Yeah, I thought this dude was dead. Complete creep, man. Complete creep. Yeah, ableism for the win. Let's... yeah.
Renegade host who's made his name off of his brash, candid, and provocative interview style. Let's just say he's anything but politically correct. I mean, he hosts interviews with mentally disabled people where he asks them to spell 3...
I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it, okay? I'm not even going to say it.
3-letter words and then laughs at them when they can't. It's just the height of cruelty, isn't it? He's actually interviewed so many that there's an official group called the Whack Pack. Did you...
Jesus Christ.
Know about that? It's a whole group of people for Howard Stern to prod and for millions of people to laugh at. I already thought that was pushing the boundaries, but have you seen what he's done recently?
Incredible edgy content. This is the state of media before the evil cancel people arrived. Oh.
Adding a sitting president to the Whack Pack. Now that's a low blow even for Howard, asking 81-year-old Biden deliberately stupid questions, goading him for funny answers. How cruel is that?
I love the combo. I love the fucking combo. oh, that was funny.
Do that? Do you ever go on Facebook and look up people that you grew up with and go, hey, look what became of me?
No, I don't do that.
I think the bigger question here is, how the hell did Biden's advisors not see that comparison coming? Answer, probably got their Cert 3 in political advertising from an Australian TAFE. Yes, this video is about TAFE, but no, I know you're about to click off. Don't. This affects you. It's very important. After all, TAFE spelled backwards is fake. Well, probably going to need this classic Lowe's attire for this video, and as you can tell from my previous statement, I learned how to spell at TAFE. Okay, sorry, I won't rag on TAFE like certain university graduates love to do. Oh, you're so much better than someone with a certificate in hat making with your fancy fucking medicine degree. Get over yourself! At most, you'll probably save a few human lives. Humans are a dime a dozen. If Drake can make 2 in secret, anyone can do that.
How the hell did his team approve a Stern interview? I don't fucking know. They want to appeal to the young'uns, and I don't know, the young'uns keep telling them, stop fucking sending bombs that kill children. They're like, no, we do not need to address this. Let's go to an insanely fucking ableist fucking schizo, and let's make him more palatable to the young people, even though probably that guy's fucking average audience age is... the day you die -1.
That shit. Hats, on the other hand, well, they have to constitute like what, 25% of the budget of a Baz Luhrmann film? And can we just have a bit of honesty? They're the most impressive displays humanity has ever produced. Have you seen Elvis? 2 words. Incredible. And that hat that Tom Hanks wore, probably a product of TAFE hat making courses, thank you very much. Which now, thanks to Labor, I think is free. No difference between the 2 major parties, eh? Sorry, I don't actually know if it is free. I can't be bothered to enrol and check, but Labor has funded almost 500,000 fee-free TAFE places. Suck shit, America. What the fuck does TAFE mean? It means learning how to mass produce those cakes no one likes and not electrocuting yourself.
What is this fucking Australian speak? I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. What the fuck is going on?
Now, let me make one more Howard Stern observation. He needs a hat, but also, isn't it funny how he started out in radio as this wild-haired, controversial maverick, copping huge fines for his refusal to bow to the man, but gradually he's become closer and closer to a Jewish grandmother. I mean, look at the grandma from The Nanny. Your only thought now is, oh, Howard dyed his hair. That's kind of what happened to TAFE in the past decade. Just like Howard Stern's show, TAFE used to be the place where all the misfits, the whack packers of society, if you will.
Crazy Fizz, this is why I don't like Jody anymore, because he's simping for our equivalent of the Democratic Party. Okay, I didn't know. I associate him with Boy, so I was like, okay, base. But yeah, I guess a few levels down, but... let's see what we're talking about here.
Go to get quizzed up and skilled up, and then they can eventually learn what overcharging is and charge you $200 to say, oh yeah, gonna have to order some parts here. But now they're both too scared to do anything great. Howard's sitting there interviewing Joe Biden, TAFE being slashed to the point where we don't have enough tradies to meet our own housing targets anymore. Now, I'm gonna do something out of character. I'm going to blame it all on the Liberals. A criticism that I will steal from the ACTU press release from last December.
My man, stop talking about Australian politics and talk about the fucking topic of the fucking video, please. Jesus fucking Christ, we're fucking 40% of the video in. God fucking damn it, my man. Come on, please. Did
you know that from when the Libs got in until 2021...
Okay, still, okay, Australia
world
stuff.
impacts. Trade unions blame. So you...
Okay, more... Okay, now back to topic, please.
Basically, over the years, state governments all over Australia took...
Okay, continues.
Private training market. The problem is, a lot of very smart Andrew Tate types realised, so, the government is now paying students...
Okay, this is just about Australian politics. I apologize, chat. This is just about Australian politics. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about sex. No, let's talk about branding. Let's talk about advertising. Advertising, the most successful form of propaganda. I found this. How Gucci fell from high fashion to discount rack, okay? This severely disrespects me. I recently bought Gucci shades on a massive discount. And now they're telling me that it's a discount rack object. Holy shit. I am not based and luxury pilled anymore. I own a discount rack item. So, how can Gucci go from something that is ideologically identified with luxury to something which is not? Would be a very interesting conversation that allows us to take a deeper dive into the fact that, well, pretty much all your definitions of value, not human nature, not your own based objective opinions. It's all kind of brainwashing. We're all just like nonstop, just brainwashed. So pretty much everything you like, you don't really like because you like it, but because you were brainwashed into liking it. You don't really have a personality. Your personality has been carefully tailored to suit an ever-expanding and ever-needing market for consumer goods. You basically are not human. You are a wallet. And funnily enough, you love being a wallet. Well, consciously at least. Subconsciously, you dread your existence, and you try to run away from said alienation and dread by identifying with random objects that you put on your body or decorate your apartment with, or that you drive around town. Yes, indeed. But the beautiful thing about all of this is we can talk about it. So let's talk about it.
This is the image that Gucci would like to project.
Gucci doesn't belong in a mall. It belongs in a museum.
I could have my Gucci on. Where the Gucci back row.
Gucci, 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 please. Gucci, please.
Gucci is that brand that makes people think they want to live larger than life and be sexy and be adventurous and be unconventional.
But behind the scenes, things have been a bit less glamorous.
Still in shock from Gucci's dramatic slowdown.
Gucci sales falling 20% in Asia.
A steep drop in sales at its flagship Gucci brand.
Clearly, Gucci isn't at the top of its game.
So how did Gucci and the $50 billion conglomerate that owns it fall from high fashion to the discount rack? While Gucci is an
because
icon
it quite
of
literally
Italian
can.
It's been
Because it
owned-
quite literally can. Luxury is just what we all agree on luxury being. That's it. Luxury is like language. If we all agree that dick actually means this bottle, okay? If we all agree that this is what we call dick now, we will continue to call it dick. Oh, let me sip from this dick. Oh man, this dick is really cold. Oh, I don't like the plastic from which this dick has been made. Okay? If we all agree that this is dick now, then it's dick. Okay? If you all agree that I am the great leader of the Gunner state of Israel, then I am the Gunner leader of Israel. Well, luxury works in the absolutely same way. There is not anything that is luxurious de facto. Not the diamond, not the gold, not the bling, not the MacBook, not the BMW, not whatever. It is only luxury because we all agree that it is luxury, okay? And then it additionally manipulates our identity of what is luxury by through higher prices, which make us compare to prices of other objects and blah, 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 blah. So while that being extremely successful, it is also a potential downfall of the very same pattern that it follows in order to rise itself up, which is, as simply put, if less people start considering you to be a luxury item, you simply cease being a luxury item.
Owned by the French company Kering for the past 2 decades.
Kering is a luxury conglomerate that is controlled by the Pinault family.
Even though it is an established multi-brand luxury group, they have other storied brands like Yves Saint Laurent and Bottega Veneta and Balenciaga. Gucci is really the mothership for the company.
Kering was founded by Francois Pinault, who built the company.
Man, Italian's so fucking cucked.
New child soldier, subscriber.
Thank you very much, knife emoji. Welcome back. Italian so cucked. Like the French own one of the biggest brands. Oh, Lord.
Through acquisitions over several decades. He's now 87, and his son, Francois-Henri, has taken over.
He's well known because...
Now 87.
Jesus Christ, that's his son. God, I'm about to do many ageisms up in this bitch. Oh, Lord.
And his son, Francois-Henri, has taken over.
He's well known because he hangs out quite a lot on the red carpets. His wife is Salma Hayek, the actress and producer.
Now, Kering's big rival is LVMH, the owner of Louis Vuitton and Christian Dior, among others. That company is run by Bernard Arnault. So there's a duopoly in the French fashion world.
Let's see this clip sent by Chad.
Explaining the rules to the board game capitalism.
So number one, the first rule, and this is actually really cool game design, is the game's already started. You were actually born into it the moment you were born. They registered you with the game. And what's sort of fun about that is the people who made the game are always winning and will always stay winning. So you are interacting with a world in which everything either has a monetary value, or if it doesn't have a monetary value, it is worthless.
Or it will have monetary value eventually.
Cool thing about that as a system is it's like, oh man, I have like this piece of property, and it's like, cool, that is worth whatever you can get someone else to pay for it. It's a fixed amount when you're poor, but if you're not poor is a status condition you can have in the game, which you all have. Brennan,
Love it, love it. Brennan is a fucking G. Brennan be a G indeed.
With LVMH under Arnault on one side and Kering under Pinault on the other. That rivalry really came to a head in the late 90s when Arnault had set his sights on acquiring Gucci for LVMH.
And that was the point when Tom Ford and Domenico De Sole were running Gucci as a public company, and they didn't want Mr. Arnault to have it. And they ended up signing an agreement with Francois Pinault, the father, who was the white knight who came in.
Initially, they bought a 40% stake in Gucci, and eventually they bought...
Why I want to learn about Gucci, but you keep sending me clips, god fucking damn it.
Yes. And Brennan. Good cop, comrade cop.
Hey, got you Coca-Cola and a bag of Fritos. Look, we're just trying to have a conversation about what happened today.
You shouldn't tell us shit. We are not your fucking friends, okay? Get a lawyer in here. Take care of yourself. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Remember that.
Yeah. Or just, you know, we were just looking at this window of 2 to 3:30 today. There was sort of just a loud noise near your apartment.
I am working here to feed intel to the revolution. You should burn this fucking place to the ground. But again, keep your mouth shut. Anything you say, this motherfucker's gonna twist it against you.
All right, well, listen, if you cooperate with us, it'll go a long way. We can get you in a much lighter situation overall.
Run, motherfucker, run!
Zach. Yes. And Brennan.
Oh, that is fucking funny. That is funny. Oh, okay, that was great.
But the rest of it, after a lot of acrimonious moves against LVMH.
During that era, Kering was about the same size as LVMH.
Child
In the
soldier,
years since, they've
subscriber.
Thank you very much. Wop, 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 swap, wop, wop, chiki, baka for the sub. Welcome, motherfucker. Yeah.
had different trajectories. With savvy deal-making and management, LVMH's value has soared to $450 billion, while Kering's hasn't.
LVMH's market cap nowadays is about 10 times bigger than Kering's. Kering is...
And that allows them to quite literally eat the competition. The wider conversation to be had here that we absolutely always have is the game is pre-rigged for you if you have enough capital, right? But that's in the relationship between regular workers who have no capital to start a business or to basically have a decent life versus people who have capital that can use capital as a snowball effect to generate more capital. Basically, that's the difference between capital and currency. Capital is money that can make you more money, or things that you can buy that can generate you more money, that you can own that can generate you more money, etc., etc. But this relationship also, Marxists rarely talk about this because we don't want to talk about fucking finance, but unfortunately I fucking study that shit. This also applies to intercorporate relationships, right? That is why a ungoverned market always inherently leads to a monopoly, because while an individual with capital is much more privileged than another individual without capital, a company with a lot of capital is more privileged than a company with less capital. So basically, the bigger you get, the faster you can grow, and the more you can wait for your rivals to basically die out. So in a very fun twist of events, following pure market logic is counterthetical to market logic, because it directly leads to the inability of even businesses, even like capitalist entities, to compete with each other, because they get eaten by whatever is the biggest capitalist entity inside of whatever industry that they're trying to compete in. So yes, what I'm saying basically is the free market is a suicide cult that eventually eats its own children. And even greater conversation on this that we had yesterday is, for example, the introduction of techno-feudalism, where basically the market has commodified everything to such an extent that it has even commodified itself. And now you basically have feudal lords that own vast swaths of the internet, and then they rent out businesses' ability to buy shit, to sell shit on their own platforms for a particular percentage. And sometimes that's like a 50% plus percentage of the actual profit of the business they're trying to sell. I'm talking about Amazon here, and techno-feudalists, as our Greek uncle said. So it's very interesting to see. It's like we always make the argument that capitalism is only good for capitalists, but funnily enough, in the long term, it's also not good for the capitalists, right? In the long term, it's also not good for the majority of the capitalists, because they will be put out of a job eventually. They will be eaten up by whatever the bigger fish is. That is why capitalists themselves always want to make sure, ironically, that there is some regulation over the free market. They can protect their position of a lesser competitor in a competitive market, ironically, right? That's it. Yeah.
It's very dependent on Gucci. Basically, about 50% of its sales come from Gucci, but more than 2/3 of operating profit come from Gucci.
So when Gucci is suffering, the whole company is suffering.
At LVMH, it's slightly different. Louis Vuitton generates about a quarter of total sales, but it's about half of total profitability. The fact
There you go. They diversify their portfolio. They just have literally more products to run on, more brand identities to run on, more a diverse portfolio means different people will buy your shit. So you always want to sell to the poor, you want to sell to the middle, and you want to sell to the rich. Because if the economy is going down, then the rich will start buying the middle ground, the middle range product. The middle income bracket will start buying what the poors used to buy. And fuck the poors will die starving on the streets. They're not really a marketable demographic, so fuck them, especially in times of crisis. And then when the economy comes back up, as it always goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up in the capitalist mode of production, it all goes back to it. But you always want to diversify your, be it audience for a service or clientele for a product, because that quite literally allows you flexibility as you're attempting to grow in the market. And ironically, the only way for you to actually pull that off is if you have enough money and if you have enough resources to diversify your production. So the more money you have, the more you can diversify your production, and the more you can eat into the profit margins of other companies, eventually cannibalizing them as well. Hence my ironic argument that give it enough time and capitalism will cannibalize even the capitalist. Okay? At one point, if the fucking algorithm can run absolutely everything, they won't even need the boards or the CEO. Like the CEO, ironically, as the definition of a class trader, but also sometimes not a class trader, because they very often are given percentage ownership of the company and therefore become an owner, a capitalist, not a like highly professionalized, what do you want to call it, proletarian trader of his own class. Eventually, the CEO will not be necessary, because the corporation itself, which is, it now becomes an entity of its own, and the market, which is also an entity of its own. That is why I like to call it an inherently inhuman project, because we're not governed even by humans. The humans are only like subcategories of how the market works. What I mean by this is the market for now needs humans to be CEOs. It needs humans to sit on the boards. It needs humans to exploit other humans. And higher management and so on, and the executives, they reap lots of benefits from this. But in the long run, this inhuman process will no longer even need those humans. It will manage itself through algorithm, through tech, etc., etc. Because at the end of the day, the market wants to get rid of as much cost for as much profitability as it can. And humans are always equals cost. But that's where the ironic failing rate of profit theory comes in. And it's like, if, we like to say, the workers can no longer afford to buy shit. And that's why the economy is sometimes going down, right? Very, very, very good argument and a very good point. But very often it doesn't look far enough into the future enough, right? Because at one point, like, the employee will no longer be necessary. So the algorithm will either keep employees only because it understands that people need salaries in order to buy shit, or they'll twist your fucking ankle with the census bullshit, UBI, etc., just so that it can sustain itself by giving some money to everyday people so that they can buy the product, so that it can create the product. And it's fucking, again, inhuman, because at that point, it's like even more alienating and meaninglessness than it is now, because it will just be, hey, here's some money so that you can consume the stuff we're making so we can make more profit. But how does that contribute to society in any fucking way? That's the point. It doesn't. It only contributes to this arbitrary free hand that, again, we're humanizing it. Free hand of the market. There's no hand. There's no fingers. There's no flesh. There's no secret cabal. Okay? That's the insanity, the main, like, core insanity of capitalism. And it is not humans. It is, call it code, call it a self-replicating and self-correcting algorithm, call it whatever you want. But it's just a completely different, at this point, borderline deity that has direct influence on every single one of our lives, and yet contributes absolutely nothing. The only reason it's giving us anything, handing us out these jobs, these positions, even higher upper management, even percentage ownership, etc., is because it has not found an alternative to our fleshy little fingers operating their factory levers, or writing their fucking articles, or sending out the fucking corporate email. And it's already started. I mean, read Bullshit Jobs. Fucking brilliant book. And my argument, and partially what is argued in that book as well, is bullshit jobs exist, and they're already probably 50% of all jobs that exist. Complete unnecessary bullshit jobs. If you really wanted to streamline shit, if you really wanted to be a blue-blooded capitalist, you would fire all of these fucking people. 70% of us here in chat would probably not have a fucking job. But it doesn't, because the system needs consumers, and the system pays them so that they can be consumers. I don't know, though, like, maybe these algorithms will get there at some point, but right now it seems like every time a company replaces admin stuff with AI, chatbots, phone menu shit, etc., the efficiency of the service goes down. Obviously, yeah, we're not there yet. We're absolutely not there yet. But eventually, upper management will be replaced. It absolutely will be replaced. Everybody will become replaceable in a system which is not guided by surplus human happiness, but is guided by surplus profit. It's not only like when I was a baby socialist, it was very much like my main reason why I got into this ideology is because I don't want anybody to fuck me, okay? It was 100% selfish. 100% selfish. My boss gets to take my surplus. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you to take my money? That was why I got in. But I understand, like, as I'm growing, I understand that it's not you just being ripped off. It's you as a species becoming unnecessary. And why? Because of an algorithm that us as a species ourselves have created, manifested. And that it just is eating us now. And more importantly, eating our whole fucking planet. And we're all screaming and nobody can fucking hear. The birds are screaming, the forests are screaming, the fucking oceans are screaming, the fucking cobalt miners over in central, in the Congo. But nobody's hearing because the algorithm is louder than everyone. And because you get Stanley Cups. Good for you.
That LVMH is less dependent on one single brand provides more stability.
Even so, Gucci, and therefore Kering, has had a few successful years. And that was largely down to one man, Alessandro Michele.
In the years that followed the nomination of Alessandro Michele as creative director at Gucci in 2015, the label did really well. They kept putting out hit products.
There was the Marmont bag in 2016, for instance, and the Dionysus bag and the Princetown slippers a year earlier.
The furry slippers really became a hit product. They really resonated well with the younger generations. They were bohemian, they were maximalists, and they were chic. And during that time, the market cap of Kering actually quadrupled. Sales at Gucci more than tripled.
But being a top fashion brand comes with problems.
Finding that right balance in the fashion industry to stay on top and yet have your products be fresh, it's very difficult to hit and it's very difficult to maintain over the long term.
The Fashion Retail List publishes rankings on the world's most fashionable brands, and Gucci has fallen down the rankings.
Since 2022, the performance at Gucci and therefore Kering has really suffered. Sales have missed a number of times and the stock price has really tumbled.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, okay, maybe there's some fashion people who work in the fashion industry here in chat, and I've talked to people who work in the fashion industry that are really up to date with, again, algorithmic thinking. People like fashion industry is a perfect example of like aesthetics and selling aesthetics. And one would think, the more creative you are and the more original ideas you create, the higher chance there is for people to buy your thing because they identify with this original new wave of ideas or reinterpretation of old ideas. And that is why they will like the looks, basically, that you're trying to sell them. And that's correct. But what if you're so big and you have so much money and resources available to you as a corporation that you can create 100 variables of styles? What about 1,000? What about 10,000 variables of styles? I'm pretty sure 10,000 different fashion aesthetic variables will satisfy every single consumer's idea of what they want to represent themselves externally, which is basically what they want to wear. And at that point, you're done. You've won the game. There's no need for any competition. And that's fucked up in capitalism because it will monopolize, automate, and just fuck all the employees and all even competitors, etc., etc. But what if you use that same argument in a so-called socialist society? And we use this technology, we use this generation, we use all of this creativity and quite literally create 10,000 different variations that are not created unless you order them, so that there's no surplus production, there's no pollution, etc., etc. And absolutely everybody has access to every single imaginable style of clothing at all times without participating in capitalist exploitation and while minimizing pollution, using tech to satisfy all fashion styles while minimizing the pain inflicted on the environment. How about that? It's already there. Walmart's already figured out state planning, okay? And Amazon as well. Hyper-algorithmic generation of potential fashion products, for example, which in this case wouldn't be called products. It's all already there. Like the tech is already there. Only it's used exclusively by owners to generate profit, instead by the wider community to increase standards of life. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. But no.
The success of Louis Vuitton has meanwhile helped turn Bernard Arnault into, at times, the richest person in the world. And his was a very different strategy.
So, I mean, in some ways, Louis Vuitton has a more classic image and positioning. LVMH has been at this longer. They are really total pros in this game.
There's a difference between luxury.
Is that why AliExpress keeps advertising graphical design t-shirts instead of autism on them? Yeah. In socialist fashion, there will be a mass distribution of t-shirts that say autism on them, okay? That will be the biggest trend in a socialist state, okay? But not in an ableist way, but like people will fight because they want to be autistic. Like it's going to be so not ableist, it's going to give birth to autism supremacy. I'm fucking around, man.
And fashion. In fashion, for instance, you're relying on trends, whereas in luxury, you rely on timeless, on heritage products that basically stand the test of time.
The dictatorship of the neurodivergent. There we go, baby. This is what I'm talking about.
That's what differentiates top-tier luxury brands, such as Louis Vuitton and Hermes.
A typical luxury product, for instance, is the Birkin bag by Hermes, which was created in the 1980s. And that is still very much sought after. You know, one single bag can cost more than 10,000 euros.
With some of Michele's products, Gucci may have missed an opportunity.
Thank you, Romka, for the 100 bits as always. Imagine an algorithm that you can use to order Zaza to be grown specifically for you, Eddie Straight. Fuck yeah. And then the massive automated green factories immediately like package and sending through like a highly pressurized underground pipe system, and the Zaza just appears next to you. The only thing it asks you before you order your Zaza is, would you like a cold socialist brewski with that? Yes, sir, I would. Thank you very, very much.
According to company insiders, these products like the furry slippers or the Marmot or the Dionysus, they could have become one of those heritage timeless products, but they didn't. And the mistake was that basically they created many variations of these products. They were
Wait, what?
They could have become
Some of Michele's products, Gucci may have missed an opportunity.
According to company insiders, these products like the furry slippers or the Marmot or the Dionysus, they could have become one of those heritage timeless products, but they didn't. And the mistake was that basically they created many variations of these products. They were overexposed somehow. This was a reflection of the short-termism at Kering, basically trying to maximize sales and profits in the short term.
This is reflected in the company's share price.
Especially when you're trying to sell a product that is supposed to be like easily identifiable as this is the luxury product, but then you give like 10 variations of that product and you can no longer identify the particular aesthetic. And more importantly, other people cannot identify just how expensive your bag is. So you consciously or subconsciously do not buy it because you literally know other people will not know how expensive this thing that they bought is, because at the end of the day, luxury items are just like a capitalist manner through which we show off our, fancy feathers in order to find a mate, the way we did back in tribal society.
Every dollar of profit that LVMH is expected to make,
Just instead back then, you need to be a really good fucking hunter and kill a fucking jaguar and then have feathers and shit. Nowadays, you just need to make a lot of money and literally buy a jaguar car. Different societies, different ways of mimicking success to a potential mate or whatever the fuck.
investors give it about $24 of value. For every dollar of...
Speaking of value and pretending that you're successful, did you know that on Twitch, there is one way to define just how successful you are? And that, for a Twitch streamer, is how many subscribers he has. But for you, the Twitch chatter, is if they are a subscriber or not. Because at the end of the day, the great luxurious privilege of being a subscriber means no fucking ads. Just like the ad that is going to play in exactly 3 minutes. So show off your Birkin subscription, your Gucci subscription, for $5 a month for free through Prime, and enjoy an adless, luxurious experience. Premium, premium, premium. On discount today for only $500.
Profit at Kering, they only give it about $15. That's because they're more optimistic about LVMH's future business prospects, because it isn't quite as vulnerable to the whims of fashion.
So Pinault knows that Gucci basically needs to play more in the most exclusive luxury space. So in February, at the annual results, he says they're trying to basically lift the brand and put it in the same category as some of its peers like Hermès, Chanel, or Louis Vuitton. But the thing is, he's been saying that since 2006.
Some observers place the blame on Pinault himself.
At LVMH, for the most critical and most important decisions, they're taken by Bernard Arnault himself. At Kering, the management style is slightly different. People have described him as being more hands-off, as being a little bit more laissez-faire, and as giving the brands more autonomy.
Critics cite the 2022 Balenciaga scandal as evidence of this. The brand had to apologize after one of its ad campaigns was accused of sexualizing children. Still, in 2023, Pinault found another reason to lose focus.
Remember this chick? Remember when she was the leader of the free people or some shit? Standing up for the oppressed and shit. Remember that? Greta actually elevated herself in a class-conscious person, and we cannot see a fucking mention of Greta anywhere in mainstream media because she became a fucking poor, basically class-conscious anti-imperialist. But Malala didn't, and now she hangs with the Gucci owner and Oprah. Oh man, fucking shoot your heroes, man.
Focus.
In 2023, the Pinault family bought a majority stake in creative artist agency. According to some luxury observers, that was seen as a distraction for François-Henri Pinault.
Gucci parted ways with Michele in 2022 over a difference in creative vision.
And a few months later, in early 2023, they named a new designer, Sabato De Sarno. He was a relatively unknown figure from Valentino.
At first, his design seemed more staid than Michele's, playing into Pinault's plan to elevate the brand.
So Pinault wants Gucci, basically to become a true luxury player. However, making that pivot takes time. It's a marathon at the end of the day. It's not a sprint.
Yeah, everything I said previously. So Gucci was more like short-term profit-driven, I guess, and lost the bigger picture of how you maintain yourself in the market. Let's look at a different brand, though, from China. Firewater. Have you motherfuckers drank this shit? I have one of these. Well, let me start the video and let me have a shot with you. This shit tastes like I don't know, unhinged donkey blood. Like, it's insane. It's not my thing. It's really not my thing. Mao Tai. Yeah, it's really not my thing. And apparently, everybody's in love with it. So yeah, let's drink it with you. Let me just go get the bottle and let's explore this story, shall we?
This is Mao Tai. It's 53% alcohol, tastes like fire water, and a bottle can cost tens of thousands of dollars.
Mao Tai is the national liquor of China, so it's many people's go-to drink.
As Mao Tai's popularity grows, so has its share price. In June 2020, it surpassed China's biggest bank, climbing to reach a valuation of over $500 billion in 2021. Today, Mao Tai is the world's largest beverage company by market value. The company is now worth $295 billion.
Okay, so I think this is a bottle of alcohol that stayed at my place for the longest time of any alcohol I've ever owned. Right? For absolutely any alcohol I've ever owned. There we go. It's really not my thing. Kind of my thing when you come to my place is for me to force you to drink this. At least it used to be. And then I think I forced everybody for a while. And I stopped because nobody likes it. Oh my God, the second I opened it. Shit, that is intense. And I'm you know me. I'm a big fucking drinker, okay? And this is heavy. This is very heavy. So the difference is this is not a glass bottle. This is ceramic. So if you don't open it, that's what the lady at the Chinese lady at the store at least told me. If you don't open them, you can keep them for a while. And it ages inside of the bottle. It can age inside of the bottle, which is pretty wild. And if you let it stay for a long enough time, this one is 53% volume. Okay, it's 53%. And it has the little communist shit on it, right? Produce of Queichao Mao Tai, Co Ltd, right? And apparently it can age inside of the bottle. And if you keep it for a long enough time, you can sell it for more. So people buy it more like an investment sometimes, right? And that is why apparently like the number of them that you can own in China is limited because it kind of becomes like capital ownership, like an investment. Very cool. The bottom is very cool as well. Look, it's got all the stars everywhere and shit. Very, very China branded. The back it says, Mao Tai is made from glutinous sorghum wheat. Wheat, I have no idea what glutinous sorghum is. Wheat and water of top quality. It is brewed, stored, and blended with great care by using traditional process with no added aroma substances. So apparently all of these things, that's what I've been told, that go into this. If you try it, or if I try it, because it has so many fucking, basically plants inside of it. If you try it, or I try it, it's going to taste differently to us because our tongues are different. I don't fucking know. Different taste buds. Mao Tai represents the typical Xinjiang type of flavor, hence known as Mao Tai flavor, which is mild and refreshing. This is not mild or refreshing, my dear Chinese friends, but okay. And above all, it leaves an elegant mouthfeel. No, it does. I would not use that word. And a delectable, lingering aftertaste. An aftertaste that does leave. Definitely an aftertaste that does leave. So let me just put on the drinking mask, shall we? And I'll be right back.
That's more than double the market cap of the company that owns Budweiser, and more than 10 times the parent company of Jack Daniels. But there are challenges ahead, particularly among Chinese youths unwilling to splurge, and international consumers who know little about Mao Tai. So, what's next for China's premier liquor brand? This is the economics of Mao Tai. Before we get into the details, how do people drink Mao Tai?
Drinking mask is big, baby. Yeah, товарищ, yeah. What the fuck? I put the mask on really fucked up. Okay. Let me poison myself for you chat. Okay, let's see. Jesus. Let's see what the Chinese... I have not drank this in at least a few years. So you see I'm not cheating. 53%. There we go. Okay. There we go. We're pouring. And we're pouring. I think that is more than enough right here. Wait. Shit, can you see it? Yeah, it's on the other. I don't want to spill on the actual computer. Okay, let's see. Smells like extremely old caramel that you've forgotten on the stove that somebody then burned, melted, and dropped into your vodka, basically. Okay? So cheers, chat, to your health. I love you. Shit. The burn is insane. The aftertaste is a bit chocolatey in the upper side of the mouth, but look at my eyes are literally watering, and I drink. Wow, and the cup, smell this, chat. The cup, holy shit. It smells like I dumped gasoline all over it. Holy shit. It's good. It's good. But I would only have it, honestly, to start off with an appetizer, just one shot. Or, what do you call it? Or with dessert in the end. But I genuinely, shit, it's still burning. I judged it too harshly when I tried it before. I genuinely judged it too harsh. Thank you very much, Cabbage Spilla, for encouraging my toxic behavior. Very much. Thank you for the gift sub. Should we drink more? Should we drink another one? I kind of like it. I've never tried donkey piss, but I think this is the closest, and I kind of like it. Okay? One more. Don't complain afterwards if the rest of my fucking coverage is fucking insane, okay? This is 53% volume, baby, okay? You see this shit? I'm not lying. There's no way for me to have put water in this, okay? Look, it's this type of cup. No way I could have put water. Son of a bitch. To life, to the revolution, to Cabbage Spilla's community sub, and I love you all. It's impossible to take with one sip. God fucking damn it, man. This shit is fucking insane. Man, I'm from a country where we drink rakia, and There's a reason the fucking Chinese are built different. I really like how after you swallow it and you push air out, it genuinely feels like caramel chocolate. But while you're swallowing it, it feels like you took acetone. I mean, I've never drank acetone, but it feels like you took acetone and you've kind of added flavoring to it. Jesus, like it your lungs catch on fire. This is great if it's cold. If it's if the weather is cold, this would heat you right up. And yes, Dr. Sleepyfist, I don't know why you need to tell chat not to drink acetone. Please don't drink acetone. Instead, drink a drink approved by the great leader Xi Jinping. Right now, order support the Chinese Communist Party for only, I think this is like $40. For only $40, you get to support the Chinese Communist Party. Remember, drinking 53% alcohol that basically tastes like flavored vodka on steroids makes you into a real communist. Indeed, indeed, indeed. This has not been sponsored in any way by the Chinese Communist Party. My nose is so fucking big I can't even fit it under the mask. What? It's a state-owned company? Holy shit, then I'm not even doing this ironically. Thank you, I love FTL. Oh, God, man. Ugh! Fuck. Almost done. I poured a lot. Oh, wait. As I'm finishing my shot, we need proper background. Okay. We need proper fucking background on this shit. Okay. Cheers, chat. I fucking love you. The regularly scheduled broadcast will return after this shot. Cheers. Cats and communism and 51% alcoholic drinks, I guess. We be having fun. It's a Thursday, but in our brain, it's a motherfucking Friday. Life is good. You are good. Let's fucking go. 天上太阳风呀风通通嘞，你心中的太阳是毛泽东嘞，看到我们飞前进嘞，革命江山一日一个风嘞，一呀一自由，呀呀自由啊，革命江山一日一个风。Shit, that is some heavy duty shit. Ronka, thank you for the 100 bits. Imagine chasing this with Pivo and Zaza. I would absolutely love some Pivo and Zaza right now. Oh, fuck me. If anybody's drinking, cheers. I fucking love you. Okay, let us return to a regularly scheduled broadcast. Let me just take off my drinking mask and continue the stream. Or maybe I should drink more. No, I'm not going to do that.
In these tiny little 5 or 6 mil baijiu glasses, and the reason why it's so small. Yeah, look at that's from what they drink. You see how much I fucking drink, motherfucker? Let's do some toxic masculinity up in this bitch. This is from what they drinking. Look at this. Look at my hand. I have big fucking hands. This is what I drinking from, baby. No, yeah. Not knowing what you always know how a drink is supposed to be drank before you fucking drink it. I feel very hot right now, and I can't believe from like literally 3 sips, it's fucking hitting, man. This shit is hitting. Oh, hey. Tiny little 5 or 6 mil baijiu glasses, and the reason why it's so small is because it's much stronger than your usual spirits, and also because it's in such a small glass, you can kind of sip your way over the course of a long banquet with many different dishes.
Maotai is rooted deep in Chinese history, earning a reputation as the drink of diplomacy. During the Chinese Civil War in the 1930s, communist soldiers on the run made a stop at a village in Guizhou province, where Mao Tai is made, and reportedly used the liquor to wash their blistered feet after trekking thousands of miles. The story helps cement Mao Tai's status as the drink of choice among the Communist Party leadership, including Premier
Holy shit, no matter they're fucking wild, bro. Jesus fucking Christ. If this is like your regular drink, I don't know. I immediately immensely respect you. Because when I want to go out and properly drink, I drink literally like 700-800 milliliters of vodka with around a liter of water, right? That's what I drink. Sometimes I do vodka soda, sometimes I just do vodka, okay? And it gets me relatively buzzed. I never vomit, I never pass out, I never fucking harass people. I just go home, I sleep like a baby, have a hangover, and the next day it's fine. If I was drinking this, I would be running around the street with a machete fucking cutting off children's arms off, okay? This will make you into a lunatic. This will make you into an absolute lunatic, unless you're Chinese, I guess. Or if you drink like this amount, or if you drink this amount. I love shots of... what's the term? The 90% alcohol, the 95% alcohol. What's it called? Fucking the shit that Van Gogh used to drink. Help me out. The fucking, come on. Not Everclear. The type of absinthe. Thank you. I love absinthe shots, and they're fine. Like I take 2-3 absinthe shots, and I'm fine. I don't go blind. I don't hallucinate or any of that propaganda bullshit. But if I drank I drank 100 mil, I drank 60, 70 milliliters of this. If I actually drank a bottle of this, I would literally die. So it's not just about the percentage, kids, okay? It's not only about the percentage. It's about, thank you very much, 89 Noah for the sub. Here we don't only do communist agitation and propaganda, we also do alcoholic agitation and propaganda, and you also learn something new about how to poison yourself properly. It's not only about the fucking percentage. Like whiskey has 40, vodka has 40. But when I drink whiskey, I wanna stab a guy. When I drink vodka, I'm lovable and I wanna dance. The actual ingredients it has, the actual taste it has, the way it's processed by your stomach, the way it flows through your fucking pipes, it creates differing types of highs. Like, we all agree that there's different types of weed and it gets you high in different ways, blah, blah, blah. Zaza's not really my thing. But for some reason, nobody's talking about the very different ways the different types of alcohol can get you drunk. So it's absolutely okay for you not to like beer and like something else, or not like wine and like something else, or any type of alcohol. It's not only about taste. Also, make sure to like observe what type of vibe kind of it sends you in, and do a vibe check on it. Yeah, brother, yeah. And based on if it passes the vibe check or not, say this is the type of thing I like to drink, and this is not the type of thing I like to drink. And never allow like social pressure and to drink this or drink that or drink this. I've been socially pressured so long when I was back in uni, man, to drink fucking tequila, and now if I even try tequila, I want to vomit. And it ruined the perfectly decent alcohol for me because people wanted to consume it in large quantities, and I never liked to consume tequila in large quantities. So basically what I'm saying is, if you can, don't drink. God bless. Be boring. Good for you. Or if you drink, don't drink shit you don't like. Like, it's about the experience. It's not about just getting fucking drunk. That's alcoholic mentality. It's fucking stupid, man. Drink for the adventure and drink for the taste, right? Drink for the fucking taste. Drink something that you enjoy. And there is so much fucking variety. You can find what you want to enjoy. I wanted to buy a bottle, but it's $160 here. Well, Mao Tai is 1,000 euros in Portugal. Dude, I'm going to start a business. I bought this for like $40, I think. 30 or $40. I bought this. There's different types. It's not 1,000 fucking euros, man. There's different types. Okay, let's Mao Tai buy. Mao Tai buy. Okay, Mao Tai in UK. How much is it in UK? Okay, these are the super fancy ones. There you go, 65 pounds. Dude, I bought it for so much less. Man, the Chinese commies are so fucking based. For poor countries, they literally cost less. This is still extremely expensive. 65 pounds is extremely... But no, you see, this is a different one. Mine is... This says Moutai Prince. Mine is... what is this? Moutai Yingbin. You see? So it's just like, for example, Johnny Walker. You have blue label, black label, red label, etc. You have types. So yeah, mine was cheap. You can find a cheap version of it if you want to try it. I don't know. I would not recommend it, but I guess if it's state owned in China, as one Redditor said, then fucking buy it. Yeah, 320, 330. Mautai US shows Yingbin. Yingbin is $60. Yeah, Yingbin, okay. I bought it for $40. I remember specifically. In the local currency, $40. Yeah. So we can make a business, bro. Let's buy a bunch of these, and I send it to my loyal subs. Money laundering scheme. So you give me subscriptions worth, for example, if it's $320 in the US, you gift me subscriptions worth $200, and I just send you the bottle as if it's a gift, so it's not taxed or anything. And then you sell it locally and make $120 profit. And I make around $60 profit from selling you. You get profit, I get profit. No labor exploitation in the meanwhile, and we're all happy, right? Speaking of labor exploitation, an ad is going to play in exactly 15 seconds. Do not participate in the labor exploitation, which is directly caused by advertising, which motivates people to overconsume. Instead, give it to Ugopnik advertising, which pushes people to not overconsume. And he will poison himself for views. Jesus Christ. No, it's a good drink. It's fine. But yeah, $5 or free through Prime, gift, or buy one for yourself. The show would appreciate it and have an adless experience. But yeah, this is good. This is good. Now let's get back to a regularly scheduled program, I guess. Yeah, let's just go back a little bit. How to drink Mautai. I should have watched this first before drinking it.
Before we get into the details, how do people drink Mautai?
It'll be consumed in these tiny little 5 or 6 ml baijiu glasses, and the reason why it's so small is because it's much stronger than your usual spirits, and also...
You see, this one's also different. Meicho Mautai, or whatever the fuck that is. Thank you very much, Stewie, for your gift sub, their first gift sub. Thank you, Stewie. Whoever got the gift, say thank you to Stewie.
Because it's in such a...
It was like Stewie, the name. Like if my kid, it wouldn't sound like fucking basically American if I called him Stewie, I would call him Stewie. Stewie's a great fucking name. Stewie's a great fucking name. Obviously, you're never going to be a general or a CEO or anything of that sort because nobody's going to give it to a Stewie. Have you ever heard like President Stewie? Like impossible. It's like... But it's an extremely cute name. You can't be Marshall Stewie. You can't be, the great people's leader Stewie. But you probably could be a great Twitch streamer. Stewie, the guy with 1 million subs. Yeah, that works. That works. But any sort of movement building, politics, big business, you're kind of fucking over your kid by calling them Stewie, or you're helping them by calling them Stewie.
A small glass, you can kind of...
General Secretary Stewie. You see? Like, I joked back in the day, but I really mean it. Like, 80% of why Bernie Sanders didn't get elected is because his name is fucking Bernie. President Bernie. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking... President Bernie. What in the fuck? Even though we have President Joe now. President Joe, that. Jesus Christ.
Sip your way over the...
Everybody defending Stewie in chat. I love Stewie. Stewie just donated us up, but yes.
Course of a long bank.
Yeah, Uncle Bernie, like Uncle Sam, Uncle Bernie. I know Donald works. Donald, that's like an imperial American name. That is, I break doors and I make you drink Coca-Cola while you work away at my sweatshops. Donald is a very imperial American name. And Joe is as well. You know, Joe, like Joe. When I hear Joe, I imagine like a fucking, like a trucker hat wearing aggressive motherfucker. Joe. But yeah, names. Okay, I'll leave you with this while I go take a piss because this immediately dehydrated like 40% of the H2O I have in my body. God damn it.
Maotai is rooted deep in Chinese history, earning a reputation as the drink of diplomacy. During the Chinese Civil War in the 1930s, communist soldiers on the run made a stop at a village in Guizhou province, where Maotai is made, and reportedly used the liquor to wash their blistered feet after trekking thousands of miles. The story helps cement Maotai's status as the drink of choice among the Communist Party leadership, including Premier Zhou Enlai, who toasted President Nixon with Maotai during his historic visit to China in 1972. 2 years later, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger met Zhou and said, if we drink enough Maotai, we can solve anything.
Because of the fact that it's been at so many historical moments, so the brand awareness of Maotai is like top notch, which also explains why it's a status symbol. My friends would bring Maotai to weddings. If there's political banquet, then there will be Maotai served.
Last shots, 22,000, 45,000, 48,000. Sold.
Maotai is popular among the rich and elite in China.
Thank you.
This year, Sotheby's hosted its first Maotai-themed auction.
Jackie shakes his head. It has become a more prominent category that demands its own category, which is not an easy feat, I think.
Paul Wong has been an auctioneer at Sotheby's for more than a decade.
So 80% of our consumers, they buy and drink, and 20% maybe they buy it, for saving up. It's a safe buy, even if you.
It's brilliant because it's what do you want to call it? In ceramic, yeah, you can actually age it inside, so you can use it indirectly as like gold or silver as a long-term, not investment, but just protecting your money from inflation. So what you're basically telling me right now is one of my favorite things in the world, obviously after my girlfriend and communism, and maybe my mom, is which is alcohol. I can buy alcohol and it would be a financially wise decision. That is the most potentially toxic environment of all time. Stuck in phone, not like wine, my friend. I mean, yes, if you buy barrels while it's aging, but when wine goes into the glass bottle, it doesn't age. That's the difference with this thing. This thing actually does age. Okay? Dude, no, my girlfriend is in here. She's gonna do that. But the fucked up thing is, like, no, an actual like boozer can't use this as an investment because he's gonna drink it. That's the problem. You need to not drink it. Not gonna lie, buying alcohol as an investment is so bougie coded. Is it though? It is. Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is, yeah.
You don't drink it now because prominent brands like Maotai will.
Not if it's the people's alcohol.
Ahead of the curve.
But
Don't
okay,
drink
wait.
It now,
was I sold something that's bullshit? Wait, what does it say here? Like, I would love to Google it, but the fucking Google is giving up my actual country I live in,
it's a safe
which is pretty
buy,
fucked.
even if you.
Okay, so the brown one obviously is the cheapest one. Chinese racism incoming. The next one is like Kuei Chao. Mine is Maotai Ying Bin. Do you see one that's called Ying Bin? I guess the third is Ying Bin. No, it's not Ying Bin. None of them are called Ying. Was I fucked over? Is the reason this tastes like literally drinking fuel because it's fake? No, I doubt somebody would actually fake a this type of bottle. That would be fucking insane.
You don't drink it now, because prominent brands like Moutai will
Where is Bing Chilling? That is kind of racist, but also really funny. I'm sorry, that's funny.
be ahead of the curve.
Moutai is not only a safe choice for collectors, but also for investors. The liquor firm has long been considered as one of China's bellwether stocks.
Moutai is basically the anchor of value investing, meaning that any fluctuations in Moutai share price could affect the entire Chinese equity market. It's sort of...
Whoa! Alcoholism-based, state, capitalist, Chinese state with the direction of creating socialism, but what was it, 2054? This video alone is at risk in turning me into a full-blooded China stan. Jesus 2050. Holy shit. I've resisted for so long. I mean, I've always had my sympathies, chat. Like, you fucking see this. Especially as a person from a small fucking country. You know, enemy of my enemy is my friend. But, what this lovely lady is basically telling me is that half the Chinese economy is based on an alcohol. And, holy shit. I have found an extension of my communist ideals. Okay.
Not in.
I am a Marxist liver failureist. Toasty Android. I'm triggered by that for a very simple reason, because alcohol hits the liver the most. The liver is the only organ that can fix itself. So it's literally the only narcotic that hits that body part which can heal itself. And while objectively still being bad, it's what? Least bad, because it targets exactly what you would like it to target. Some alcoholism propaganda continues this show, yes.
The official's interest, or in the investor's interest, to be honest, to let Moutai share price fluctuate that much.
Moutai shares have declined since early 2021.
I know Toasty Android. I'm fucking with you, man.
Yeah, anti-corruption drive and COVID restrictions. But the stock has proved more resilient than the broader Chinese stock market, shown here by the country's benchmark index.
Wait, what?
Corruption drive and
these words are too fancy for me, man.
Share price fluctuates could value invest.
Considered.
Romka's always the fucking big OG. Thank you for the 100 bits. I'm a liver change denier. Absolutely, I was born with it. No, you were influenced by it. I was born with alcoholism.
It's one of China's bellwether stocks.
Moutai is basically the anchor of value investing, meaning that any fluctuations in Moutai share price could affect the entire Chinese equity market. It's sort of not in the official's interest, or in the investor's interest, to be honest, to let Moutai share.
And I'm neurodivergent. This is why we need those autism shirts. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. I always like, I have two very close neurodivergent friends, and one like drinks like a fucking insane person, and the other one says that if they have like 2 cups, they lose their shit. And the first one always jokes, it's like, it unlocks my pathways of understanding you stupid people. Literal quote from her. Literal fucking quote. She's like, why do I drink? So I can talk to you fucking cretins. That is why. Fucking legend.
Share price fluctuate that much.
Moutai shares have declined since early 2021 amid Chinese President Xi Jinping's anti-corruption drive and COVID restrictions.
I mean, it is kind of, I don't know if it's ableist or whatever. That's what she fucking said. So I don't know.
But the stock has proved more resilient than the broader Chinese stock market, shown here by the...
Even though maybe it's the autistic person calling us cretins that makes it ableist towards us. What's fucking confusing? So don't play chess with a pigeon. So don't play chess with a pigeon until you're hammered enough. Yeah, I guess.
Country's benchmark.
Okay, I'm burying myself with this commentary. I'll shut the fuck up
shares in general stable despite these fluctuations is that the demand remains pretty stable even during COVID years. Moutai's revenue increased, so that kind of speaks to how stable the company is.
Consistent high demand and constrained supply is how Moutai keeps its prices high.
But what I would like to know is, can you age wine in a ceramic bottle? Using ceramic wine bottles to store and age wine is a top choice because they preserve the wine even better than a glass bottle. But yeah, we're talking about red wine here. Guys, we are currently live, potentially inventing a new fucking thing, okay? So if any of you fucking entrepreneurship-minded people in chat make a new fucking product, you better send, not to me, but at least 50% of your fucking earnings to buy Kalashnikovs, okay?
The cheapest bottle on the market costs about $350. But vintage ones, like this 80-year-old bottle...
Ромка, thank you for the 100 bits. So it's the Tsarist vodka monopoly with Chinese characteristics. Что, блядь? Да, блядь. Это точно это.
...can go for almost $40,000. And this lot from the 1970s smashed records and was sold for $1.4 million.
Holy fucking shit. But how long did they keep it for? What the fuck?
Almost $1. The cheapest bottle on the market costs about $300.
That is bullshit! Do you think I would pay $350 for this? I did not pay $350 for this. Dude, if I can literally buy this for $40 and sell it to some people abroad for $400, while absolutely no fucking cop on the border, okay, Balkan brain starting, while absolutely no cop on the border knows the actual value of this alcoholic beverage, I could make it worth my while to just take 3 more people with me, because you're allowed 1 alcoholic beverage per person when you're crossing the border into the EU specifically. So if I take 3 people with me and each of them brings one of these that we buy for $40 here, and we just drive over to Berlin or whatever and then sell it to $350, that's great profit. What if I get like 50 people that all go in their cars and I buy them the bottles and they take 50% of the profit while they go there? Holy fucking shit. Well, I do YouTube, I do Twitch, I do podcasts. Time for a 4th job. $50.
But vintage ones, like this 80-year-old bottle, can go for almost $40,000. And this lot from the 1970s smashed records and was sold for $1.4 million. Scarcity is what keeps Moutai expensive. Much like champagne has to come from France and bourbon from the US, the liquor can only be made in this village in Guizhou.
So the supply isn't that high, usually. A typical bottle of Moutai takes at least 5 years to make. It needs to use a specific type of grain, which is a red color sorghum, and then it needs to be distilled 9 times and aged 3 years. So for any drop of Moutai to go from production to the market, it takes quite a while.
This 7-story statue resembling a Moutai bottle symbolizes the company.
I'm even lying. Yingbin, Moutai Yingbin is 25 euros. Romka, thank you for 100 bits. You're starting to sound like the Finns that drive over the border to buy cigs and gas from Russia. Man, how do you think my fucking dad managed to fucking feed us during the fucking sanctions and during the fucking war? It was the border and it was fucking cigarettes. But yeah, this is the cheap one. Okay, I'm Googling off-site so you can't see what the actual country I reside in, because when you Google it, it fucking shows the country. Yeah, this is $20. But I don't think this is the ones that age, I guess. Yeah, my plan has been foiled.
Company's importance to Guizhou, which owns Moutai.
The GDP per capita of Moutai village is about 310,000.
Toasty Android. Yingwing costs 360 euros from what I can find. In Germany. Holy fucking shit, dude. Holy fucking shit if it does. Okay. Sorry, let's continue.
In US dollars, and that's more than 4 times of the GDP per capita of the entire US.
Making sure the brand continues to thrive is one of
This is what us Slavs in Balkans and non-Slavs, Albanians, make amazing rakia as well. Could have fucking done with rakia if we just had a fucking brain. But no, we didn't. And I buy a liter of rakia from a grandpa down the fucking street for literally €5. From €5.
Maltai's biggest challenge.
Yingpin is $89 for me in the US. Jesus Christ.
A brand is like a living
I said it's expired Shlivovica. Yeah. Natasha, that is very good.
entity that always needs to be replenished.
Maltai's consumer base has long been dominated by older and wealthier Chinese who appreciate the brand's historical significance and could afford to serve bottles during formal dinners. So the company launched new marketing campaigns to target younger Chinese. Over the past 2 years, Maltai collaborated with newer brands, including different flavors of pre-packaged ice cream and Maltai-infused lattes, which went viral on Chinese social media when it launched last September. That same month, the company unveiled a new partnership with Dove to release liquor-filled chocolate.
Daddy Big Bucks, and the name fucking works. Yingpin is broke boy shit. Don't even bring that up to my Chinese establishment relatives. Daddy Big Bucks, tell us what like the rich people drink then is.
Priced between $5 to $10, all of them sold out quickly. Though they only accounted for less than 0.3% of Maltai's overall revenue. And not everyone who bought these products enjoyed them. And if they don't like it, they probably won't be willing to splurge $350 on a bottle.
Because the economy is not doing very well, so people tend to downgrade their consumption. Previously, they might, buy a luxury bottle of Maltai. Now they're fine with just beer.
Another problem facing Maltai, it's not well known outside of China. That's why the company
unique and distinguished for thousands of...
Holy shit, I opened the website and started
Maltai
talking.
says it's now available in more than 70 countries.
We shared Maltai's move taste with the world.
But the brand remains obscure in global markets.
I think most people who tend to really enjoy Maltai are still Chinese. I remember in one of the stories, one of the interviewees said, I really don't get it, it tastes like ethanol.
If Maltai wants to continue to grow, it needs to be less reliant on the Chinese market.
Fucking young people fucking cringe, man. This is where I stand with the boomers. You're drinking an alcoholic beverage, and your complaint about it is that it tastes like alcohol. What the fuck is it ethanol? What the fuck is it supposed to taste like? Fucking unicorns? Motherfuckers can't even handle ethanol.
Looking ahead, if Maltai wants to be as stable as now, that's fine. But if it wants to expand more aggressively, it needs to look to the younger generation and the global audience.
Maltai may have a long way to go before it becomes a global household name, but its dominance in the liquor industry remains. Its annual net profit in 2023 beat market expectations, rising 19% to $10.3 billion.
Maltai, as a very big brand, it's almost immune to many things that are happening in the Chinese economy right now. It is the most valuable alcohol producer in China and the biggest in the world, and will probably continue to be.
Holy shit. I don't know if this is Maltai propaganda, but this fucking blew my mind. This blew my fucking mind, I'm not gonna lie. This absolutely blew my mind. God fucking damn it. Okay, speaking of relationships between rich and poor, let's move into boomers own half of U.S. wealth. So why are we seeing more homeless boomers? It's actually a decent question. It's a much more decent question than the one that we were answering yesterday with a very well-known liberal trying to spin the core systematic issues that one has with capitalism towards generational infighting over which generation fucked over who. Something that together with chat we've just titled the liberals immigration. The liberals way to spin the conversation away from the discussion of class towards something else, the way the right-wingers spin the discussion about class towards, well, immigration most of the time. Maxoid, I don't know, but about hat take, good vodka tastes very different to medical ethanol spread with water. Learned the hard way at school. Go Eastern Europe. Oh, absolutely. But like, you will always feel the taste of alcohol. That's what I was referring to as ethanol. Like, that there's a very thin line of it that with beverages that are over 30-40%, you will basically almost always experience. And not wanting to experiencing and just diluting it with Coca-Cola or Schweppes or some shit is fucking unhinged behavior, right?
Chart shows median net worth by generation in the US, and it's what many people think of when they refer to boomers as the wealthiest generation. But that's only part of the story. As a whole,
Speaking of wealth, in exactly 1 minute, Twitch is about to make wealth exclusively from you by playing you an ad. Instead, you can opt for a different option. Just like Mautai, you can invest now and get a better return on investment in the long term by subscribing to the channel for $5 a month or for free through Prime or gifting it to someone else and having an adless experience. Long-term better experience, long-term better life. By Mautai, I mean subscription to Yugopnik. Yes, the ad is going to play in 30 seconds. That was the pitch. That was like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
They hold about half of US wealth, much of it in real estate. But that's mostly these boomers, born between 1946 and 1954. The younger boomers, on the other hand, are increasingly struggling with homelessness. Here's how boomers are exacerbating the housing shortage and overwhelming local economies, as a record number of them age. Around 80% of older boomers, who are now mostly in their 70s, are homeowners.
These are folks who were able to buy homes when they were younger. A lot of them have paid off their mortgages, and their homes have appreciated a lot over the last few decades.
Boomers own over 35% of all large homes in the US. Most of those homes belong to households with no children living with them. What's happening is that these older Americans are increasingly choosing to age in place.
They feel a connection to the community. Financially, they might feel kind of stuck with their home. You know, I already own this free and clear. If I wanted to buy another home, that new home is going to cost a lot more.
This trend of older homeowners hanging on to their houses is exacerbating the housing shortage and contributing to rising home prices.
It's especially acute of a problem right now because millennials are at kind of a prime home buying time in their lives, and the millennial generation is a very large generation.
California homeowners typically stay put the longest.
California has a very unique tax structure where you're very much incentivized to stay where you are, because as long as you stay in your home, your property taxes won't go up.
Not all boomers are holding on to their large homes. Around 20% are selling. But one reason this might not be making as big of an impact on the housing shortage is that boomers aren't really downsizing with their new home, so they're not increasing the supply of large homes on the market.
That could be driven by there not being a lot of good, what we call starter home or kind of smaller home options. Because in general, when builders are building, they tend to be building larger and more expensive homes.
At the same time, younger boomers are driving up the number of older homeless people in cities across the country.
Elderly homelessness has been rare since the reemergence of homelessness in the mid-1980s. Usually it's been people in their 20s and 30s and 40s. But now we're approaching close to 30% of the adult homeless population are people 55 and over.
This is partly due to the fact that boomers are such a big cohort, and since the 80s, they've made up the largest share of the homeless population. This chart shows how younger boomers specifically have made up about a third of the US homeless population for decades. But a lot of boomers are also experiencing homelessness for the first time as they've gotten older.
And these exact examples are why we should not subscribe to fucking liberal minutia, fucking insane social categories such as generations to explain away the inherent contradictions to this economic system, the market, the fucking rich eat, the rest of you starve system as a dichotomy between the old and the young, and the old being too greedy and not letting letting the young live their life to the fullest. Because we have 30% of all fucking homeless people being boomers exactly. The ones that do have a home are just lucky enough to buy it at the right time when it was a lower percentage of their actual annual income. And that is it. The reason we cannot afford it nowadays is because the fucking system has evolved. We are more productive than ever, but we're paid less than ever. Products are more expensive than ever, and we're being paid the same thing that we were being paid, that people were being paid when houses cost $20,000. It is a systematic issue. It's not the fucking olds keeping something away from you. Because the second you start thinking like that, what's the difference between that and, hey, the Mexicans are keeping me away from my job because they're giving jobs to the Mexicans? It is, again, another form of minute infighting that completely derails us from looking at the class issue as it is, the realistic class issue.
A 2023 UCSF study.
NebD, yes, generations are a box for marketers to make guesses and manipulate people into buying stuff as well, yeah.
Found that over 40% of homeless older adults in California were homeless for the first time after the age of 50. For some, this was caused by a major life event like the death of a spouse or a medical emergency. For others, especially those living on Social Security, it was due to high housing costs. In Naples, Florida, for example, there are more elderly homeless people as Social Security payments haven't kept up with rent increases. There's also a significant number of people who worked jobs that didn't contribute to Social Security, so they're ineligible for Social Security income in retirement.
We see it very often in things like migrant labor, construction, especially demolition, high-risk kind of jobs that are low-skilled. So instead, they get this program called Supplemental Security Income, which is around $950 a month right now.
Homes at the very bottom of the market have also been heavily affected by the nationwide housing shortage.
The supply of those marginal but available housing options shrinks in the context of a very hot real estate market, because even these properties that were serving very low-income people, hotels, motels, the price is going up for those, and the people want to sell, they want to convert, knock down new buildings, what have you.
Low-cost assisted living centers, which were never built in adequate...
Again, this is a systematic issue. You can make a lot more money by selling one very expensive house that you use the fucking literal shittiest materials to build. You can build 10 of them, and even if you sell only half of them and they're luxury houses, the profit margin is far higher. So you make more money than spending insane amounts of time to buy 100 affordable housing units, out of which most likely you'll also sell only 50-60%. So the market incentivizes creating luxury, quote unquote luxury, even though everybody should be able to afford a fucking 2-story house, but you get my point. Luxury living units, because it's just more economically viable. Again, an absolute systematic fucking problem. Like it's like I'm talking to a fucking void here. This is so fucking obvious. It's insane.
To handle the large boomer generation have also been closing amid staffing shortages and financial troubles. Researchers estimate that in New York City alone, healthcare and shelter costs will surpass $450 million by 2030. Academic researchers attribute the different economic prospects of the older and younger boomers to something called the cohort effect, which is the idea that people born in the same period share unique experiences as they move across time.
The older baby boomers in particular, this is a generation that was coming of age into an economy that was really booming.
When they bought homes in the 70s or 80s, home prices were low and interest rates were high.
You're just lucky to bite the fucking moment. That's it.
What happened right after that was that you had 4 decades where interest rates basically just fell. That meant that even though they were entering into home ownership at a time when rates were high, they were able to refinance.
The second half of the boomer generation came of age during back-to-back recessions.
They faced a very crowded housing market. Prices were escalating. Young adults in particular faced the challenge of getting entry into the labor market.
Between jobs are hard to come by. How about you? You hiring?
The crack cocaine epidemic in the 80s led many to struggle with homelessness.
And that population has continued to be at risk as they've gotten older.
Sometimes if you miss a window by, even 5 years, 10 years, you're looking at a very different housing market, or you're looking at a very different labor market, and it takes time to catch up.
Over the next 10 years,
And this is, again, taking the side of the market over everyday citizens. That's it. That's literally the whole point. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. The whole pitch originally was it's efficient, right? The communists are dumb with their state planning and shit because it's not efficient. You have to wait for 3 fucking years for a car or other bullshit shit like this, right? That was the pitch. But now, I wish I could wait only 3 years for a car. No, I pay off my car for 6 years. Most people, I mean. I wish I could have to wait for an apartment or a house for 3 years. No, I have to pay it off for 30 years. If I am incredibly lucky enough to afford to be able to give a down payment to afford a home. And then make sure that I don't fuck up for the next 30 years so that I can actually pay it off. Yes, please then, in that case, give me the incredibly unsustainable and unproductive state-run market where I have to wait half a decade for somebody to give me a free car or a free apartment. Basically free. You know what I mean? Fucking insane. The commodification of a genuine human right, such as having a roof over your head, is, in my opinion, the main one. Yeah, absolutely. The main argument one should propose when you're trying to put across the point that this shit isn't working. Like, that's the bare minimum. Like, in a system that works, the bare minimum is what? For us to have water, food, and shelter. And now you're telling me that the vast majority of young people, and 30% of fucking homeless people are also old people, right? Cannot afford one of basic human rights. Basic human decency. Fucking shelter. That you can call your own home. And this system cannot provide it. Or it cannot create a environment in which people can, quote unquote, provide it for themselves. Then how is that a system that works? How the fuck is that a system that works? Tell me, how? What data do you look at when you argue that this is the most logical way we should run our society? I don't know what sort of data you need to look at, because when I see that the vast majority of people cannot afford a home, that's all the data I fucking need to say that this isn't working. Well, how do you define the term a system working or a system not working? In my modest opinion, we put the attribute not functioning well, not working, when people can't buy a home. I don't think this is radical in any shape or form whatsoever. Stupid shit.
Some researchers are counting on what they call a silver tsunami, a huge wave of housing inventory from baby boomers aging out of their homes. They say this would free up houses for younger families to move into. But other housing experts say that's unlikely to happen.
Like, what else is the system supposed to deny us for us to say that it's not working? What else? Water and food? I mean, a lot of homeless people are at that point already.
Soldier. I mean, subscriber.
What else? Like, what else? What else? Thank you very much, Amy, for the sub for 3 months. Thank you very much. Welcome, my beautiful. I don't know.
If you are looking for inventory from that mechanism, it's going to be a trickle. It's not going to be like this big tsunami that happens all of a sudden.
By 2030, all boomers will have reached traditional retirement age, which researchers expect will only increase the pressure on healthcare facilities and shelters.
We need to fix the federal safety net. The Biden administration, the budget that they put out this year included $3 billion to address elderly homelessness. I don't think that's likely to pass, but it's the first time.
$3 billion. House, okay, $17 billion in military aid for Israel. Biden administration plans to send an additional $1 billion in military aid to Israel. The U.S. House passes $26 billion in emergency Israel aid. $3 billion. Let him say it again.
The budget,
and he doubts that it will pass.
That they put out this year included $3 billion to address elderly homelessness. I don't think that's likely to pass.
And he doesn't think it's likely to pass. And yet, the most bipartisan votes in your richest country on the planet are to send child-exploding missiles. This is a system that works, guys. Everything is okay. Go back to work. Go back to work. Everything is good. Everything is functioning well. Everything is functioning well. It's all okay. It's all okay. It's all so good. It's all great. It's all okay.
But it's the first time that we've seen a federal proposal of any kind. So at least it's out there and it's in the conversation, because we should not have destitute, elderly, or disabled people in the richest country on earth.
One would think, right? One would think. Mods, please adjust the title. My loves, you haven't since the fucking migrant thing. Okay, and since we started about the topic of a system not working, let's see how tech is impacting the system continuing not to work instead of elevating all of us individually and communally. A new video by the old school motherfucker from Kak Philosophy. What would good AI art look like? Let's go. Play, please.
The internet is currently full of terrible AI art. The infinite stream of aesthetically worthless AI sludge and slop is like a digital sewer. But at the same time, it offers us some good opportunities to reflect on what we consider art to be, and what we value in art. What I'm interested in is the various arguments that I've seen people make online as to why AI art is not art, and why it cannot be art. What I find striking is that many such arguments are also arguments against viewing photography as an art, and yet it's been generally accepted now for several decades that photography has created undeniable examples of fine art. Some, for instance, might say that AI-generated art is not really art because it merely sets off a mechanism that then unfolds automatically, and it is therefore this mechanism, not the person using it, who produces the image. And yet, one could say the same thing about photography. Instead of selecting an AI generation process and adjusting some settings and writing in a prompt, you pick a camera and any potential accessories, select your camera settings, and push the button. In fact, such an argument had been made about photography in 1865, with one writer arguing that while photography can be used to assist painting, it cannot be an art in its own right because it lacks, quote, something beyond mere mechanism at the bottom of it. A related argument is that the person generating AI...
And that was the main discussion that was started when technology evolved into using cameras, because cameras did not exist before then. And we addressed that question through time, and basically it became its own separate category of art. But now, with AI art specifically, if we can even call it such, there is no actual human labor input. There's no human participation. It's just writing out the instructions. And that's what I feel like has been the main criticism of it. Quite literally, it's not made by humans. But let's see where the video goes.
AI images is not in control of the process the way an artist should be. You can put in the same exact prompt several times, and by means of some kind of randomization, the output will be different each time, proving that it's not really an artistic process. But again, this applies also to many cases of photography. If you're doing street photography, for instance, you can point your camera at a given direction and shoot it a couple times, and the result will be different each time, owing to factors external to the photographer's control. Of course, one might argue that AI art and photography are fundamentally different because, unlike photography, AI art is generated partly by utilizing images made by other people. And while this does complicate things and comes with the danger of plagiarism, in my view it doesn't actually discount the possibility of AI art being art, because photo montage is also often made by utilizing pre-made images, and there are incredibly interesting and generally accepted instances of works of art made through photo montage. So it seems to me that if we want to accept that photography can create works of fine art, then we also have to be open to the idea that AI generation might, in some cases, also create works of art. At the same time, I am sympathetic to people repulsed by AI art, given how terrible most of it is. So maybe it's not non-art.
At least its current
maybe it's
state.
just really bad art. But then, why is it bad? And how might good AI art actually be produced? I think here, again, it is highly productive.
Speaking good versus bad, in exactly 1 minute, an ad will play. Giving money exclusively to Twitch by watching ad equals bad, because it's run by an AI. Giving $5 or for free through Prime to me equals good, because it's run by a human. Great argumentation. Thank you for your consideration. Et al. Rimation.
To look at the parallel shown by the art of photography. See, with the advent of photography, many painters were afraid that it would basically put them out of a job, given that it could depict things more accurately and faster than a human hand ever could. Why would someone hire a painter to immortalize a moment?
And this is a great address at the argument that, AI art exclusively just puts artists out of a job. Currently, in the current mode of production, in the current system, it absolutely does. But it is to the artist to potentially adapt to this new technique, new model that exists. But then again, let's see where it goes.
When it could be directly captured by photographic means. In 1901, artist Henrietta Klopak...
Just like everything, including tech, not like including a hammer. You can make a house with a hammer. You can break the walls of a house and make it go crashing down. There is no moral good or bad that we should ascribe to any sort of tool. It is the hand which uses the tool either for the progress of us as a species or against our progress in the name of few individuals that get to enrich themselves, that defines it from a dialectical materialist perspective as productive or non-productive, as long-term positive or not.
Path wrote, "Some people seem to think that when the process of taking photographs in colors has been perfected and made common enough, the painter will have nothing more to do." The first publicly available photographic process was known as the daguerreotype, and after witnessing it in 1839, the painter J.M.W. Turner famously said, "This is the end of art. I am glad I had my day." But, of course, with such views, painters were selling themselves short. First of all, because they were comparing the two methods only by standards of realism and representation. Sure, there were things that a camera could do that a painter couldn't, but that goes both ways. There were things a painter could do that a camera never could. And so more optimistic and more experimental painters believe that, on the contrary, photography has liberated painting. By taking on the task of realistic representation, it liberated artists from having to be realistic and representative.
Exactly. Beautiful point. Beautiful point.
Because a camera was not capable of doing this, or this, or this, or this. This was the opinion expressed by photographer Edward Weston, who in 1930 wrote, "Photography has or will eventually negate much painting, for which the painter should be deeply grateful, relieving him, as it were, from certain public demands, representation, objective seeing." One of the founders of Surrealism, André Breton, was similarly optimistic, as he believed that the invention of photography will lead painters to break with tradition and become more inventive. In short, the tension between painting and photography led artists on both sides to ask, what can my medium do? What is my medium capable of that others are not? The exploration of a medium and its possibilities is really one of the most wonderful things about art. Painters can be impressionistic or abstract or surreal. They can utilize the texture of a canvas or the thickness of the paint. And so, while photography did end up replacing hand-drawn visuals for many practical purposes, like portraits or tourist souvenirs, it also helped to discover what was uniquely special about it as an artistic medium. And while photographers did often try to recreate the standards of painting and learn from painters...
That's a very interesting argument, and the one in my opinion, can absolutely be applied. The fact that AI art exists, and as it develops, it will get quote-unquote more photorealistic, which is not necessarily what defines art as good. But as it gets better at whatever function that it does, just like the camera got better at whatever function that it does, it both it changed the playing field, and by doing so, it reintroduced to people, reminded people more importantly, of the very specific values that painting, in the case of this allegory, attributed to applied art, right? So basically what I'm saying is, as AI art develops, in a weird way, it will remind us how special human art is, right? And it will remind us of the very specific aspects of it that we might have forgotten because we did not know of an alternative, such as mechanically produced art. Pretty cool shit.
Compositional techniques, they also went on to explore the possibilities provided by their medium. What can photography show us that nothing else can? And so photographers went on to take, for instance, microscopic images of things invisible to the naked eye, or captured motion and movement that the human eye would have otherwise missed. And this doesn't mean that the two arts isolated themselves from one another. It is precisely by exploring what was unique about their mediums that the arts opened up new aesthetic perspectives that ended up influencing and inspiring one another as well. And it also led to the creation of new hybrid art forms, which combined photography and painting, such as collage art and photomontage. And here we come across something that makes much AI-generated art completely aesthetically uninteresting. It's not asking, what can AI generation methods do that other media cannot? A lot of the time, it simply replicates something that could be done by hand and just does it really badly. When you see a piece of AI
yeah, that's my biggest problem with it in general. It's obviously all art is inspired by art that came before, and you cannot say that painter A has stolen from painter B only because it was inspired. But with AI art, it's very different because it just runs it through the fucking algo, and it quite literally takes the exact fucking strokes that another person had put on the canvas, and it reconverts it as its own compilation of the things that it has extracted from the canvas of another person. Very different from inspiration, and very different from artists being inspired by another artist, because here it is not inspiration, it is literally copy pasting a bunch of different artists' approach to creating a painting and just pasting it together as a weird ass fucking technological interpretation.
Generated art, it can be useful to ask, could this have been drawn by hand and looked much better for it? If the answer is yes, then there was no aesthetic reason to use AI methods. The piece could have been done by hand and would then also benefit from the planning, precision, correction, and character that a human hand is capable of.
Liskias, the problem with AI is not this is not art, it's that it cannibalizes artists to produce its own art. Yeah, that's what I tried to say, exactly. Yep. Agreed.
Such cases show a complete lack of artistic curiosity. Imagine this. You have a futuristic piece of technology that works...
That hits the fucking nail on the head. Why I enjoy art is it explores aspects of the human psyche, of the human experience, of what it is to experience the world and experience yourself. So it's an outwardly process and an inwardly process, right? It attempts to interpret things in a new and imaginative way so that we can get closer to ourselves and the world around us. But because AI-generated so-called art is exclusively based on the continuous reinterpretation of everything that has been created before by humans, etc., etc., it is not really exploring anything new. It is not really going over the horizon. It's just rehashing. And rehashing is not art. It is in reinterpretation and interpretation in general that we create art. Rehashing is just, rehashing, and to an extent even commodifying.
Works completely differently from a human hand, and it is capable of generating really unprecedented and bizarre and even inhuman-looking images. And yet, you're using it to replicate something that's been done before, and not very well at that. Judged by aesthetic standards, it's almost shameful to have such a strange piece of tech and use it to replicate something that's trending on ArtStation, probably plagiarizing another artist's work in the process. If you've seen my video explaining the philosophy of Gilles Deleuze with the example of drum machines, you might see how that Deleuzian perspective applies very well here. If you want to create something new aesthetically, you have to ask not how do I use this method to replicate or represent something, but what new possibilities are opened up by this method.
Exactly. What new thing do we learn about ourselves or the world? What new adventure does it throw us in by experiencing what an artist has created or by creating the art ourselves? You don't get that with generated content because it's generated.
Wonderful, a new
I
child
think this is
soldier,
the key to creating actually good and actually
Thank you, Ben Pish, for 2 months.
Interesting AI art. Ask, what is this capable of that other methods are not? And there's plenty of possibilities, because AI generation can create things that are aesthetically unique and unprecedented, and results that could not be achieved by either hand-drawn art nor photography.
So one could make a point, and this might be controversial, that it is exploring a new field because we are seeing how a cold, calculated, soulless machine, which is the AI algorithm, interprets what we have created for eons, right? And maybe that's something we can learn, quote unquote, from AI generated art. And that's what happens when you remove the soul from creation. AI content. It's kind of beautiful. I don't know.
These days, everyone can write in a prompt to generate an AI image, just as everyone has a camera on their phone that they can take pictures with. However, those who managed to raise photography to the level of art have been people who combined established aesthetic values with entirely new skills. Those who combined a knowledge of composition, perspective, and a keen and perceptive eye with...
For example, an artist very simplistic, obviously, I'm not a fucking artist, I don't know anything about this, but a very simplistic example, for example, if you're not, make 100 paintings of a meadow field or of your loved one or a random person, 100 of them by hand, by yourself, and then plug those in an isolated AI generation tool that's not connected to the internet and see how it interprets your 100 paintings. And in the gallery, literally have a massive print of the AI interpretation of your paintings right next to your actual paintings. And it could be, for example, exactly like a piece on the difference between generating something with a soul and without one. Blah, blah, blah. You get my point.
in-depth knowledge of camera technology and its settings, as well as exploration and curiosity and imagination in choosing what to photograph. Similarly, those who manage to raise AI-generated visuals to the level of art, if this happens, will have to combine aesthetic talent with a wide skill set, which would perhaps include extensive knowledge of AI technology and the ability to program.
Antone, an artist may make a decision to incorporate the style of Frank Frazetta to draw Luffy from One Piece, but a generative algorithm does not understand what elements exactly of Frazetta are worth applying or how Luffy's design should be adapted to fit Frazetta's style. It will only take the common elements of images it has consumed tagged Frazetta and apply it to images it has consumed tagged Luffy. It makes no decisions, it does not think. Great point. Beautiful. Beautiful. So contrasting it could also create beauty in itself.
Such that they could finally tweak the parameters and methods they use. When you think of it this way, as a way of opening up art to a wider set of skills, the idea of AI art starts to seem a lot more exciting. And perhaps those who paint and draw by hand will themselves end up being inspired by something AI generated. I, for one, would find it extremely fascinating if someone produced a painting on canvas that imitated the quirks of AI visuals. AI art can create visuals that we would not have been able to see in any previous historical period. So why limit yourself? Art, by exploring different aesthetic media and methods, expands the very bounds of human experience. And now I'd like to thank my patrons, whose names I used to generate AI images. 404 Error, Just Undo It, Andre Oliva, Archive Transients, Beetle Scratches, Ben E., Celsius Enjoyer, Circadia, Daniel Zotner, Evie Rosk, Eric Owens, Francois Yue Wu, Got Hit with DeBoer for Delosing at Guitar Hero, Hong Kong Aesthetics, John D. Pagani, Katy Perry.
Katy Perry. Thank you, Katy Perry. Love you, Katy Perry. Yeah.
Hello. In this day and age, being a hater online is not only accepted, but often necessary. It doesn't matter who or what you hate on, there's probably already a community out there willing to show you the ropes and get you caught up to speed so you can get right to hating like you've been there the whole time. Now, in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to be a hater with only the most proper and respectful internet comment etiquette. And to give you a little feeling of what it's like to get hated on, I've incorporated a hater camera into this lesson. Hey, hope you don't get that new job, pussy. Yeah, it goes something like that. Hey, robot.
Yeah, what's up?
Today we're talking about being a hater. What's something that you hate on?
Immigrants.
All right, come on, man. Just for once, could you say something that doesn't get me in trouble?
Well, I was gonna say Jews, but I don't want to sound like a liberal college student since I hate them more.
All right, whoa.
Then again, I'm on Israel's side in the war because I hate Arabs the most.
Whoa!
That said, I am with the Arabs when it comes to gay people.
Whoa! Oh, what's that, robot? Sorry, I can't hear you. Yep, that's right, you jerk. See, I knew that a real hater like Robot would never be able to keep his mouth shut, because that's what being a hater is all about, taking every possible opportunity to hate on someone or something, or maybe even both in Elon Musk's case. Yeah, this guy's public enemy #1 for haters all over the internet. They hate on him when his cars fuck up, they hate on him when his companies fail, they even hate on him for having babies. The sheer amount of haters that this man has accumulated, it's astronomical. It's even crossed its way into YouTube poops.
I am generally not a slave owner, but okay.
Well,
fantastic. Do you deny the Holocaust? Absolutely. Fantastic. First of all, what is the Holocaust? Nothing special whatsoever.
Elon
Musk,
ladies and gentlemen. That's what people think of him.
I could fill this room with diarrhea. Why would you do that? I don't know.
But can it be done?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Is he so easy to hate because he's like lame and he wants everyone to like him? Yeah, that's probably it, actually. Tesla has addressed the child labor issue by removing the...
Yes.
cobalt that is mined for batteries and making the cars run directly off Nigerian children. Seeing Elon's hairline jump around with the timeline is amazing, like one of those oddly satisfying TikTok videos of bottles going downstairs. Absolutely enjoyed feeling the disdain and hatred you can feel for this man in this video. Just absolutely nothing going on behind those eyes. Hey, might want to be careful joking about Elon unaliving. This just seems more and more likely all the time. That's just how the story is. Musk can't grow a beard, do they, make plugs and chags? Damn, they're hating on him for everything right now. So, okay, when it comes time for you to find what you want to hate on, a fun exercise could be looking for a new angle to hate on it with. Nobody's gonna bring up how Elon Musk worked for PayPal. Fuck that website. I'm PayPal's biggest hater on the planet. I sent some woman $200 for feet pics and then PayPal locked her account, so since she didn't get the money, I didn't get the feet pics and I was out $200. How do people still use PayPal, which routinely and without...
Elon talking feels AI generated, exactly.
A warning will just lock your account and steal your money. They've even fucked up charities with this nonsense. Remember that Australian anime chick who was selling bathwater? Yeah, her account got locked and she lost out on like 90K. Poof.
Jesus Christ, holy shit. I don't know who I should feel more bad about. Oh, the fucking imbeciles that bought bathwater or her getting locked out of, well, 90K, goddammit. It's always the PayPal.
Right into PayPal's pockets. Also, if you look up the original founder...
Wait, does PayPal like take the money or send the money back when it locks out an account? It's a good question.
Founders of PayPal, they're almost completely responsible for the internet becoming worse over the last 20 years. Without PayPal, we might be living in a utopia right now where it's frowned upon to be a hater. But thanks to these assholes, now I gotta go call some little girl a stupid bitch because she hated on my favorite K-pop idol. And you're gonna die alone. Post! Well, we've barely scratched the surface of what's possible as a hater online. It only gets crazier from here, like, did you know that there's haters out there for dogs? Your fucking mom's a dog. Here's the dog-free subreddit, where users get together to say...
No fucking way, man. Absolutely no fucking way. But you know what's worse? What's better than dog-free? Ad-free. And ad is going to play in exactly 20 seconds. So be ad-free and dog-full. For only $5 a month or for free through Prime. Thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, we hate dogs. Over and over and over and over. Dogs ruin everything. Oh man, I hate reading these long ass posts. You know what? I'm just gonna do this Phil DeFranco style and speed it up in post.
This weekend I went to a beach retreat with my church. There wasn't really much to do. We couldn't swim because there weren't any lifeguards and there were slight rip currents. So my friend and I sit down and decide to build a sandcastle and mini pool. I'd been sitting on my knees, so I headed into the shore to wash all the sand off. And the moment we stepped away, this couple came over and let their dogs piss on our sandcastles we were working on. I tried to let my friend know, but everyone is busy fawning over the shit beasts.
I'm glad your grandma's deaf.
They're not natural creatures at all.
These guys just hate dogs, huh? Just dogs in general. Whew.
Because as a society, we are literally brainwashed and groomed from birth either by the pet industrial complex and the media with the deceptive prop.
The pet industrial complex, brother. The pet industrial complex, brothers. I love it. The pet industrial complex. The what could make an... Okay, I'm not. Okay, I'm not. I already fucked up by having a relatively niche interpretation of fucking AI art with you. I'm not gonna shit on your dogs. Oh, fuck me.
Propaganda, or the natural brood parasitical effects of the mutants themselves, into thinking that these dim-witted, disgusting, and aggressive mutant abominations are virtuous beings of light and represent happiness and all that is good and wholesome. Dogs are the new golden calf bull.
Yeah, the whole subreddit's full of people like this. And like, you know, this is what I'm talking about. There's a whole community of people that hate on this thing. But guess what? I'm a hater too. I'm coming here to do my own hating. Consider joining PETA. Hello, my name is Sandy and I work for the recruitment branch of PETA. Just found this community and I think you guys would be great for our organization. We also hate dogs, which is why we kill so many of them. All that stuff about saving the whales and going vegan is just a cover story so we can murder every dog we get our hands on. That's not red paint we throw on people at fashion shows, it's dog blood. You people might think you're the biggest canine haters in the world, but you ain't shit. While you're in this subreddit complaining about your neighbors barking...
Lol, one of my mods went and bought... fucking legend. Bought a Mautai in my Discord. I should get a cut from that Mautai, okay? Chinese state. I need a cut. $90 he bought, at least $10 my way. Tell me how it tastes like. Tell me what it tastes like.
Labradoodle, we're kidnapping it from their front porch and stuffing its lifeless corpse in a Goodwill donation bin. Check out PETA.com if you want to sign up and contribute to our 76% euthanization rate. And by euthanization, I mean wearing the desiccated remains of tortured hounds while we chant.
Anarchists be like, abolish bedtimes and pets because a pet is unnecessarily authoritarian towards you as it demands free food for no labor. It does not even participate in the communal election over what is to be done tomorrow. Dogs are worse than mom. Okay, abolish mums and dogs. I am the most normal anarchist.
Around an altar to the god of death. This message was brought to you by PETA, the apex predator of household pets. And submit to Reddit. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators of r/dogfree. Why? Why? I think my post got removed by a hater. And submit. Yeah, I think they might have a secret dog lover on their subreddit there. They should probably figure out who that is and fire them. Because what are they getting paid for? Oh, wait, right, none of them get paid. But if you want to know who the biggest dog hater in the world is, Governor Kristi Noem says, I want the truth to be out there after viral story of killing her dog.
Whoa.
Did you meet Kim Jong-un? Well, you know, as soon as this was brought to my attention, I certainly made some changes and looked at this passage, and I've met with many, many world leaders.
Oh, what's going on with her fucking eyeballs?
Because there's been such an enormous backlash about your revelation that you shot and killed a wire hair pointer named Cricket, who was 14 months old.
Yep, that's some dog hater activity right there.
This was a dangerous animal that was killing livestock and attacking people. And I had little children at the time. Our operation had many kids running around and people in interaction with the public. And I made a difficult choice. I think you're a mother too, and you have little kiddos. Would you make a choice between your children or a dangerous animal?
Wow, she looks fucking ridiculous.
And then after you shot the dog, you, quote, realized another unpleasant job needed to be done. Walking back up to the yard, I spotted our billy goat. You said he smelled and would chase kids, so you took him to the gravel pit and shot him twice.
And she's so fucking stupid, she put it in her book. This is not like some whistleblower saying, holy shit, this fucking unhinged person just did this. She put a passage in her book detailing killing her own dog. That's not just evil. That, like, the only thing worse than evil is evil and stupid, and that is evil and stupid.
Double kill.
This has been a story that my political opponents have tried to use against me for years. It's well known in South Dakota, and it has been to other people, and I want the truth.
I am well known in South Dakota as somebody who offs her fucking dogs. I have children. Great reason to kill dog. Kill the goat because it was smelly as fuck. What do you think happens to the goat smell after you kill it? Oh.
To be out there and to understand that these animals were attacking my children.
That's what they all say, man. That's what they all say.
So you're not going to retract the book and to prevent China.
Cheers, chat. A bit more Maltai. Baby.
Governor, this book is a powerful book. It's an honest book.
All right, well, just because people are dog lovers doesn't mean they can't hate her. George Santos isn't fooling anybody with that disguise. This B word. She crashed out. Her whole vibe is simply disturbing. Her kitten. She has an annoying accent. She has the eyes of a deleter. She deleted her dog and will delete others. Bro, she ain't the one. She is worse than Hillary Clinton. Didn't think that would be possible.
Imagine being an awful fucking dog owner, so the dog is also awful, and then you're so awful on steroids that you kill the dog that's awful because you're an awful owner.
If you guys know,
it's like a snake eating its own ass. It's like a dog being shot by its owner.
Me, you know I hate politics. So let's just keep this totally on a personal level. Okay, sure, she lied about a ton of stuff and then told the truth about shooting a puppy in the head, but how is she as a governor? Maybe we need more dead-eyed killers like her running the country. Someone whose very appearance is confounding to the mortal gaze. I simply cannot tell what I'm looking at when I watch her speak. Her face looks like I need a topographic map to make sense of it, and why is her neck inflating like a bullfrog with each consonant? I believe she's gotta be tough because she's walking around looking like a Ren and Stimpy freeze frame every second of her life. I can't wait for those YouTube channels that point out lizard people transformation.
Only OGs know Ren and Stimpy, bro. Only OGs know Ren and Stimpy.
Just to find this woman because she seems to be stuck that way. Those mantis shrimp eyes of hers must see so far beyond our perceptible reality that she's become aware of dark entities moving between the folds of space and time. I think the biggest lie she's told so far is that she cares about the safety of her children or any other corporeal being, considering what she knows about their insignificance as the dream of a nameless deity that slumbers on a higher plane of existence. Also, she kind of sounds like a bitch, and I don't vote for women. And put a dog down, old school style. You see now, being
I disagree with all of what he said except the last part. MAGA guy watching this. Fuck.
a hater online can be a fun and productive way to spend your time. And every social media website is specially built to foster that hating energy and put you together with fellow haters so you can just spend all of your time hating things with thousands of other people. And if you do it enough, maybe you can bring some of that hater energy into real life and show all your friends what you're hating on. They love that. Hey, speaking of things that people love and don't hate, it's time for a brand new episode of Mama's Twins, brought to you by Raycon. Nobody likes your toes.
Previously on Mama's Twins.
Look, brother, look how many Raycons Mommy bought me. You're making me jealous.
They have no idea that I was Derek all along and that Ardmore is the one who truly died in the skiing.
Like, internet comment etiquette by far has the best ad plugs of all time. Like, the best ad plugs. He makes a whole sketch just to plug headphones. Do Raycons even still exist? Like, I didn't know they still existed. But no, he's been doing Raycons for fucking a century now, man.
Excellent.
Or a millennia in the case of the fucking uniform.
He has no idea that I was Ardmore the entire time.
Now, time for Mama's Twins. Ah, yes. A beautiful day to enjoy my brand new Raycons. Oh, Butler!
Hello!
Will you hand me my brand new Raycon Everyday earbuds with their sleek ergonomic fit from buyraycon.com/bigmoney for 20% off and free shipping?
Oh, you mean these Raycons?
Yes, open them up and give them to me, Butler!
Oh, but of course, you may also notice that these brand new Raycons have active noise cancellation.
Oh, that's quite the upgrade for their price point, Butler.
Yes, half the price of other top audio brands.
Oh, these customizable gel tips give the perfect fit.
I made sure to use the new quick
Go buy some Raycons now.
charge feature. Just 10 minutes of charging gives you up to an hour and a half of battery life.
Splendid, Butler.
Oh, thanks to buyraycon.com/bigmoney for 20% off and free shipping, brother.
What did you just call me?
I called you.
Jesus Christ.
Brother!
Brother! You're alive?
Yes, brother! You might want to put your Raycons into awareness mode for these.
Very well.
While you were here in your loft penthouse, enjoying your Raycons, which also happen to have a multi-point feature, which means the jewel can be connected to two devices at the same time.
Get to the...
This is the easiest ethical react of my life. Like, the easiest one ever. If only everybody did ads like this on YouTube. God.
point, brother.
With 3 sound profiles that let you listen to your Raycons however you please, thanks to a seamless touch feature.
They're also sweat and water resistant.
Silence! Look what I have, brother. A protective case for your everyday earbuds.
The lake is shipping.
Bag's empty.
Huh? Oh, hey, sorry y'all, I gotta step away for a second. Hey guys, welcome back. So now that we're in our hater phase, sometimes it's okay to hate on things that you actually enjoy. Take for instance the Helldivers 2 community. Helldivers 2 is an insanely popular video game with what some would call a vocal fan base. Let's just take a peek into their subreddit real quick. Hunters need to be toned the fuck down. I bought a democratic detonation and now it's trash. The game devs suck. Sorry, not sorry. These devs don't know what they're doing. I stopped playing. Arrowhead needs to get their shit together and create a proper chain of command in regards to communication with the player base. Now, just to be clear, I sent Reddit cares messages to all these people because I'm a big ol' hater. Anyway, I remember when Helldivers 2 first released. It was a lot of fun. The game developers were open and communicating with all the players, which helps the success of the game. But we all know that success brings haters. It's like every weapon they make it underpowered or just useless. Yo, watch out behind you. There's a charger on the extraction. Yo, charger on the extraction. Oh my God. How'd he get up here? No, the engine killed me.
They should rework the war bond instead of making a new one.
The balance team makes no sense. The charging plasma rifle is shit. I don't care about war bond updates at all. What makes guns fun? Woo! Everybody in this sub is whining. He whined in the sub. This post is a whine about people whining about the whining. This comment is a whine about a comment whining about people whining over people whining. There's a difference between whine and informing, but it seems many don't understand the difference. I don't like the people who don't see the difference. Like, come on, it's right in front of you.
I'm gonna run, grab the samples, and kill that. Right when I get to there, you guys can call it.
I got your back, bro. Just run. Go, 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 go. Oh, shit. Oh, that thing's up. Oh, no. It fucking stepped on me. I didn't even know it could do that. That's awesome. I made a document with feedback on every HD2 weapon and stratagem to give to Arrowhead. Yo, I'm thinking of getting a Toyota.
Toyota Camry?
Yeah.
Go wrong with Toyota?
Nah, I can't go wrong with a Toyota. My proposed crossbow we rework buff. Fire tornadoes need to change. Evacuate essential personnel is a broken mission. Having only one perk instead of two like most other major orders make no sense. Here's why. All right, everybody in. I'll cover you. Run! Run, you son of a bitch! Get in there! Yeah! Yeah! We did it! All right, I'm back. What did I miss? Oh, just a bunch of people being haters on the subreddit? Oh, fuck. Just too busy enjoying the game. Oh, well. Anyway, here's one for you guys who want to learn how to be haters about haters. I hate you all. You idiots can suck my balls through my asshole like a big boba straw. You're all complaining about nerfs and refunds. If I was your father, I'd refund your life. Last time that I checked, it was...
If I was your father, I would refund your life. Yeah, my internet's bugging like fucking crazy. I don't know why. My internet's losing its mind right now. Go up to 2,500. Come on, you little piece of shit. 2,800.
Was lame and annoying to be this entitled, but I haven't seen the latest patch notes, so maybe something changed. Maybe they buffed being a fake know-it-all baby trying to scream the loudest to get with...
No, Pandas, it wasn't you, my friend. It was this thing very much so. It's losing constantly. My streaming quality keeps falling. Oh, well.
What they want. I don't know. Whenever I think about where I went wrong in life, I just open this subreddit and let relief wash over me that while things may be tough, at least I'm not throwing little bitch tantrums over make-believe weapons in a game that gives you 15 revives. You could spend the rest of your life hating on this game, and I'd still hate you more, despite knowing nothing about you. You're out here making it look like you speak for anyone but a bunch of weird bitches who make up the bottom-tier pawn scum of any given community. They ought to lock you all in a fucking vault online where you can drive each other crazy while the worms finish eating your brains. I hope this post pisses you off so much you spend 8 hours arguing in the replies while everyone takes turns making fun of you. And don't even think of bringing up stuff that I've complained about, because those were all...
I personally feel called out as a regular Helldivers player. I mean, I haven't played in like 2 weeks, but as an ex-regular Helldivers player, okay?
Fair criticisms. And post. But seriously, you are an absolute bitch. Okay, come on, don't get deleted. Don't get deleted. Nice, it's up. And it's deleted. Okay. Well, that's Reddit for you. Just a real big stinky pile of shit. However, sometimes you can find something that everyone is hating on. Meet the new iPad Pro, the thinnest product we've ever created. The most...
the true horseshoe theory. Proven by the iPad. Like, the far right and the far left, both equally hating on the iPad.
Advanced display we've ever blah, blah, blah. Let's see the video. Yeah, this is the commercial for the new iPad.
Of course I've tried the autocannon.
And I guess they did something wrong because the reaction has been 100% negative. You destroyed all the creative tools and efforts of humans. Worst commercial ever. This is one of the worst ads I've ever seen. Dark, dystopian, completely off-brand. There are so many fun, upbeat ways to communicate thinner. Did the Taliban make this? This is the most ghoulish, tone-deaf ad I've ever seen in my life. Fire all your marketers. This is utterly catastrophic for your brand. Probably a good idea to kill this ad and do a post-mortem on how it went through the review process at Apple so it doesn't happen again. Writer, artist, and longtime Apple user here, this ad is deeply offensive and inaccurate. You know why. That looks like an advertisement made by Nazis who promoted the destruction of culture. Ooh, hit 'em.
Complaining about advertising is complaining that they're not lying to you in the proper way. Complaining about advertising is saying that you didn't believe the lie. You would prefer for them to lie to you better. Complaining about advertising is fucking stupid.
With the Nazi comparison, that's classic hater activity. You're a Nazi. My turn. Well, if it isn't a bunch of people who are gonna buy this thing anyway. Hey, Tim Cook, next time you film one of these, put a dog in there for my girl at Gov Christy Gnome. Otherwise, I'm afraid she might unleash whatever's swimming behind those
so
doll eyes of hers. And I'm a hater. I don't even know what angle I was just hating from there, but it felt great.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah, so much to hate on. But what if you're the one being hated on? Dealing with Haters, The Secret Psychology of Haters by Dan Locke.
So they don't like you, but they watch all your stuff every day, and they interact with your content the minute you post something, and they post a comment consistently for months.
Jesus, what is this music?
But they hate
God.
your guts, though. I guess that makes them a fan.
No, it doesn't.
They're spending an awful lot of time hating, right? A lot of time hating.
It's the opposite of being a fan,
Write
mate.
it down. Oh. How people see you has got nothing to do with you. How could it, the same post, two different people reading it, one says life-changing is phenomenal, one says a piece of shit. How could it be? Because it's got nothing to do with the post. It has to do with their upbringing.
This is the dumbest shit I've ever
their
heard.
psychological makeup. Do this with me. Do this with me. Go ahead. Put it in here. Go ahead. Do this.
Hey, fuck you.
Every single one of us sees through life with a filter. Put it down.
I can't tell if these people paid to be there or if he paid them to show up.
Write it down. Personal brand equals pre-selling. And usually the people who hate other people the most, guess what? They hate themselves. They don't hate you. They hate themselves. Usually nameless, faceless. No name. Why?
Hey, I wonder if there's any haters in the comments. There are. Desperate Dan. I mean, I wouldn't become a hater if you hadn't scammed so many people. Only dumb people believe his money course will teach you how to sell. The cameraman is kind of bad. Trucks hate bicycles. Swerving, honking. I just got hated on the bank. Large lump sums of money.
Where did trucks hate bicycles come from?
Even the bank teller's hating on me. What if you aren't successful at all just yet, but have a lot of haters for seemingly no reason? How do you deal with pretzel haters? You hate you makes you go. The ads on here are way too long. I think that was meant for my channel. Piss in my ass, Dan. Yeah, you know what? I think Dan Locke may be onto something here when he said that haters truly just hate themselves. At the end of the day, I think maybe that's the comment that I've been waiting to leave this entire time. Witness me. Yo, I'm a punk bitch. I hate myself so much I've been eating right and exercising just so I can hate myself until I'm 150 years old. There's people on death row who have fewer regrets than I do. I regret not hating on myself at a younger age so that I could be further into the streak by now. I hate myself so much it makes me a likable person to the outside world. I bark at myself in the mirror and try to fight dudes who look like me. If anybody wants to come kick my ass, I'll join you. The only thing that makes me happy is when I'm losing. I'm gonna be at my own funeral as a ghost throwing up gang signs. I've been spreading rumors about myself having bed bugs so nobody will hang out with me. I learned how to suck my own dick just so I can tell myself I'm not in the mood. All in all, very proud of what I've accomplished as a hater.
Man, this guy's channel is fucking awesome. Oh, he never gets old, man. I think I've been watching him for half a decade now, man. Absolutely pristine content, okay? If we need to like show the internet as a human, I would use his fucking profile picture, and not this one.
just
like
goes to
his fucking legendary, like this one, like this one right here, fucking eternal classic, man. I don't know. So many years I've been watching this guy. Never gets old.
Show that if you believe in yourself and work hard, you can achieve anything. Also, I have dumpling balls. And post. Well, I think that's a fair note to end on. We've seen just about every form of being a hater online, and now when you get out there, you'll be able to more.
And that's a great form for me to end today's show as well. Thank you very much for joining me. This has been an absolute pleasure as always. I will most likely see you on Sunday. Thank you to my lovely, lovely, beautiful mods. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to all the followers. I wish you a great rest of the day. This was absolutely lovely. Don't go. I gotta go. Thank you very much, Habibis. I love you very much, and I will see you most likely on Sunday. If not on Sunday, then on Monday. That is the plan. The plan is that. I'm not going to raid anybody. Have a great rest of the day. Kisses, kisses, kisses. Bye-bye. Mwah, 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 mwah.